Very close to kick-off now at Pride Park. Let's bring back in the former Watford striker, Chris Iwelumo. Chris, just before the break there, we didn't get a chance really to touch on the relegation situation today. Odds, it looks like, stacked up a bit against Cheltenham this afternoon, but it is a final day. And I think when you look at the teams as well that Burton and Cambridge are coming up against, both of them already relegated. But is there any chance, do you think, of Cheltenham getting themselves out of danger today?
Yeah, well, I think they've been flirting with it the last few seasons. So you look at the experience they've got. You know, I think Burton up against Fleetwood, Charlie Adam in there. Yeah, there'll be disappointment that, you know, they are relegated, but that also brings a freedom to go out there. The players are kind of showcased to the manager that they want to be involved next season, so they can go out and play with a freedom. Again, it's all about not being complacent. You know, Cheltenham got a great result against Peterborough. Can they go on again? I think Burton probably felt that they got away, got out of that situation the last round, and then obviously find themselves having to kind of get themselves in the right frame of mind to go out and produce against a Fleetwood side. So it's all to play for, Ollie, and it's just about down the players taking responsibility. Who can showcase what they're about, who can be brave, composed in very, very difficult situations. Fans play a massive part as well, so the players have to feed off that energy and drag every little bit of quality they've got and bravery they've got and composure out of it that they have within them.
Yeah, the flags are out at Pride Park. The atmosphere you can hear behind you is building very nicely indeed. The Derby fans expectant of a promotion back to the second tier. They only need to avoid defeat today. Chris, how important is it for Derby to get on the score sheet early in a game like this to just settle those nerves?
Yeah, it's always that first goal is always the most important, the hardest one to go out and get, but they've got goals coming from all over Derby. Like you say, 19 clean sheets, so defensively know what they're about. It's just, yeah, and the longer that goes, Ollie, you know, a little bit more pressure comes in. If Carlisle gets that goal, it's down to how the players react. They've shown after that defeat against Northampton that they have that in their character. But this place is absolutely rocking. Like you say, the flags are right in front of me and Ian here. So it's just about the players going out and doing exactly what they know they can do.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. A quick reminder of today's permutations in League One. The final day. Derby need to avoid defeat in order to secure promotion. Bolton will look to breathe down their neck. They're away at Peterborough. Wins for Barnsley and Lincoln will keep them in the playoff places. And Cheltenham need to win, and results for Burton and Cambridge to go their way in order to stay in the division. This is EFL League One on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Right then, we are set to go. Strap yourself in for a cracking weekend of football across the Talksport network. Later on from 3 o'clock, we'll be live here on Talksport 2 at St James's Park for Newcastle against Sheffield United in the Premier League. Following that from 5:30, huge game for Chelsea women. They take on Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final second leg. They already lead 1-0 in that game. And then at 8 o'clock, Ipswich will try and push themselves into the automatic spots in the Championship. They take on Hull at 8 o'clock, whilst on TalkSport, it's top four chasing Villa against Chelsea in the Premier League. Right now, though, it's all about League One. The teams are on their way out at Pride Park. Could Carlisle United spoil the promotion party? Derby simply need to avoid defeat to secure Championship football next season. What a final day we're set for. So let's join your top commentary team at Pride Park for what's sure to be a nail-biting afternoon for all of those involved. Former Wolves striker Chris Iwelumo is alongside the man with the permutations, the league table, the calculator, the abacus, and if needed, his fingers and toes as well. Your match commentator for this afternoon, Ian Danter.
I'm ready. Thanks, Ollie. A very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2 for the final day of League One. All games kicking off at the same time, of course, and so everything will be decided by the end of the afternoon. By the time we get to around 2:45, 3 o'clock, we'll know who's in the playoffs, who fills the final relegation spot, and indeed who goes up automatically with Portsmouth. And judging by the atmosphere around Pride Park, there is a huge belief that Derby are pretty much there. There's such positivity in this sold-out stadium that the Rams are going to make it back after 2 years at League One level. They fell at the playoff hurdle. They couldn't get into the playoffs a year ago. A defeat at Sheffield Wednesday saw them knocked out of the playoffs right at the death of the regular season. But Paul Warne kept his job, kept his cool, brought in experienced players, and here they are needing just a point to secure a return to the Championship. Just one change for Derby from their last time out, and it's Max Bird coming in for Liam Thompson for his 200th appearance for Derby County. That's from the 1-0 win at Cambridge. Joe Wildsmith, the keeper. Curtis Nelson, Sonny Bradley, Aaron Cash in the back three. Kane Wilson, Corey Smith, Ibo Adams, Louis Sibley and Max Bird in midfield behind Nathaniel Mendes-Lang and James Collins in attack. Carlisle already relegated, but they have won away at Peterborough and Bolton this season. Despite just having 4 wins away all campaign, they have taken some notable scalps on their travels. One change for the Cumbrians. Dylan McGeoch comes in for Jack Diamond in central midfield. Harry Lewis is the Carlisle keeper. Finn Back, Sam Lavelle, Ben Barkley, Jack Armour are the back four. Harrison Neal holding in front of them. Alfie McCalmont, Dylan McGeoch and John Mellish are the 3 across midfield, in behind Luke Armstrong and Georgie Kelly. Everybody's finally lowered the flag so that Chris Iwelumo and me can see what's actually going on up there, but there's a few stray balloons on the playing surface. Not like beach balls that would divert Darren Benchont into the back of the net, but the Derby players are just going around bursting some of those stray balloons that have made their way onto the playing surface. Our referee today is Ben Toner, and Derby will get us underway. Myself and Chris are sat halfway back in the bottom tier of the Toyota West stand. So the North stand to our immediate left, that's the end that Derby will be attacking in this first half in their regulation white shirts and socks, black shorts. Carlisle in all blue attacking the South stand to our right, and the Carlisle fans, there's about 1,800 of them. Great travelling support for a team that's already relegated on the final day. They are in the southeast corner opposite our commentary position. Throw in given to Derby County right in front of the technical areas, just down beneath us, and it's going to be Aaron Cash, and it's been one of the success stories for Derby coming through their academy, who's going to take the throw, one of their back 3. 0-0 in the early stages.
Yeah, I think Derby, it's been all Derby at the minute, but like you say, no real quality, just intensity. They've just got to kind of be calm, understand you've got to go out there and fight for that.
There is a gusty wind out there today, Chris, which might affect. I think Derby are playing into that breeze.
Yeah, they are. But like you say, if they play on the keep it low, I think they can dominate this game with the ball, which is what I expect.
Jack Armour hooks the ball clear for Carlisle on the far side of the field, but Luke Armstrong won't win it. Instead, it's Curtis Nelson who thumps the ball back into the Carlisle half. Bit of head tennis around the centre circle, and Derby County come away with it. Ibu Adams straight up to Mendes-Lang. Strong, technical player. Gets up to the edge of the area. Tries a low drive, and it only just snakes wide of Harry Lewis's right-hand post. An early shot across the bows, quite literally, from Derby County. 0-0 the score.
That was excellent. Mendes-Lang is always going to present himself. Great first touch, takes it away. He's got one thing in mind there. I think he can go wide, but I don't mind it. He's 22 yards from goal on the angle. Connection wasn't as clean as what he would like, but like you say, had Harry Lewis scrambling a little bit, but I don't mind it at all.
0-0 the score. We've got reporters at other key games in League One this lunchtime. Graham Beecroft's at Oakwell, Barnsley, Northampton. Barnsley, form's fallen off a cliff for the Tykes, but they can still make the playoffs. Jeff Peters at Lincoln, who've been under Michael Scubala's brilliant stewardship in recent months on a fantastic run. And Mark Wilson's at Peterborough. Bolton, the other team that can catch Derby County. But remember, Derby have got to lose and hope that Bolton don't win by a score that overturns the goal swing. Ibu Adams brought down on the left wing, so Derby have a free kick that's almost as good as a corner at the north stand end on this near side, the left. 2.5 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, I don't know what Samuel Lavelle doing there. I think he done everything well. He's seen the danger come over to Ibu Adams, forcing him away, but yeah, just usher him out. You don't have to put the foot in. It's a lazy challenge now. They've just got to defend, make sure they're switched on and concentrated now, Ian.
Louis Sibley to take this left wing free kick. Just a one-man wall standing in front of that penalty area. It's Alfie McCalmont that's protecting that near post. Sibley just looks up, be a left-footed delivery just to swing it away from Harry Lewis in the Carlisle goal. packed 6-yard box as well. 1 or 2 Derby players holding back to the edge of the area. In it comes from Sibley, and it's headed out. And Derby have some defending to do potentially, but as the ball was cleared downfield, just couldn't find a way through from Finn back, and it's gone out of play for a throw-in. A goal already at the Western Homes. Let's go to Mark Wilson.
Yeah, and it's a goal for Bolton Wanderers. It came from a corner. Kyle Dempsey's header down into the ground. Steer couldn't keep it out. Bolton need to win today. They're in front inside 3 minutes. Peterborough 0, Bolton 1.
So Bolton in front. That's big news already to put Derby under a bit of pressure. That news will filter around this stadium soon enough. People listening to Talksport 2 on their app. In fact, I can see some people in the press box alongside me who heard the news about Dempsey's goal. There you go. First blood to Bolton.
Well, I'll tell you something now. The Derby bench will know. The players won't. I think that'll be under the instruction of Paul Warren, and the players will know that no information will be coming on until it's really needed towards the end of the game.
I think Paul Warren said he'd check at half-time, and that was about it. Now, Blackpool have taken the lead at Reading as well. Blackpool could sneak into the playoffs if they get the win and other results go their way. Oh, what a goal! What a magnificent hit from Max Bird for Derby County on his 200th appearance. Let fly with his left foot from 25 yards out, and it fairly tore into the net. The promotion party is about to start at Pride Park. What a hit from one of Derby's most experienced players. Max Bird fires it home. Derby 1, Carlisle 0.
What a strike. As soon as he received the ball, he had a little look up. Can he put it in the box? There was bodies there. He's just moved it onto his left. He's still got so much to do, Ian, but he's put the foot through the ball. And I have to say, Harry Lewis was diving. The ball was already in the back of the net. Wait till you see this in the monitor. He gets the ball, he receives it back, he opens up, and then he just opens up the goal. He's about 22 yards. I tell you what, he puts everything through it with the left foot. Harry Lewis has no chance whatsoever. And he's near post as well, but so well.
What a story this is. Max Bird, I mentioned it's his 200th appearance. He's off to Bristol City at the end of the season. He's signed a pre-contract agreement, so he's on his way down to Ashton Gate. But that could be the perfect way to sign off what's been a very important time of his football career. At the age of 23, Max Bird has put Derby County in the box seat. Bolton lead and Derby lead. And Blackpool are in front at Reading, as I mentioned. So teams toward the top of the division doing what they need to do. And the noise around Pride Park now, as you can imagine, has just gone up a couple of notches. 1-0 to the Rams.
Just listen to this. It's outstanding, and the players, they've started well in the right vein as well. It's an excellent goal. Now you're looking from a Carlisle point of view, they can't really do much. Can they go and put a little bit more pressure on Max Bird there? They want him to shoot from that distance. He struck it so well, Ian.
There was a challenge coming in from a Carlisle player on Max Bird as he let fly, but it was just too little too late. And the shot was unerring. A penalty at the Western Homes. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, it's Peterborough 0, Bolton 1, but Bolton have got the ball on the spot. Randell Williams was fouled. Controversial decision. The home players and fans were not happy. Dion Charles is waiting on the spot. They can't help what's going on at Derby, but they can take care of business here. And Dion Charles from the spot to put Bolton 2-0 up, and he does. Peterborough 0, Bolton 2.
Thanks, Mark. So, Bolton doing what they have to do, but it's not enough as it stands. Derby 1-0 up and sending a free kick into the area, cleared away by Armstrong under pressure. Hooks out to the far right-hand side, but Adams trying to keep it in play for Derby, actually goes out before he hooks it back down the right wing, and it will be a Derby throw on the far side. 1-0 to the Rams. It's going to be a throw that's going to be left by Kane Wilson. It's going to be sent in instead from that right-hand side. It looks like it's going to be Curtis Nelson that's going to send it into the box. It's won another throw on the far side, has it? No, it's gone Carlisle's way, I think. So Carlisle will be able to get the ball downfield. Elsewhere, Wycombe lead Charlton by a goal to nil. Charlton 14 unbeaten. That's why they're not worried about relegation. There's nothing on that game, but Luke Leahy has scored a penalty for Wycombe. That's 10th against 16th. And another game with nothing really riding on it. Leyton Orient lead at Shrewsbury. Daniel Adu-Ajay has got the opener for the O's, who were on a great run mid-season but just couldn't quite get in touch with the playoffs. Derby 1, Carlisle 0 on Talksport 2. 8 minutes gone, final day of League 1. Kane Wilson trying to break down the right-hand side. Lays it back to Bird, to the edge of the area. Mendes-Lang checks onto his right, but he's surrounded by Carlisle players. But Corey Smith shovels it out to the left-hand side. Sibley can't keep it in play, and it ends up merely being a throw-in to Carlisle United. But it just seemed to open up for a moment for Nathaniel Mendes-Lang at the edge of the D, but not quite. 1-0.
That's excellent from Derby, I've got to say. Anticipating it on the front foot. Harry Budd there went and won it back when Carlisle were in good possession. Then he releases it to Mendes-Lang. I think he's got to open up. He's got to bring it out to this left-hand side, but he wants to get that shot away. You know, he's in fantastic form as well at the minute, taking on that responsibility as captain as well. I think that's just got a little bit more out of him.
The Derby fans are bouncing away to our right-hand side in the south stand, and a few mimicking it around the stadium. But the noise is tumultuous. The belief is most definitely there. I sensed a bit of nerves when I first got to the stadium early this morning, but I think by the time Chris was sat with me, he could detect there was a far more positive atmosphere amongst those around us immediately in this west stand, in this little block we're sat in. Throw into Carlisle United on the far left-hand side. Jack Armour, the left back, is going to take it. Kelly and Armstrong showing down the line on that far side for the Cumbrians. In it comes from Armour, looking for Kelly, headed away by Nelson. Drops on halfway for Harrison Neal. A few tackles snapping in, and Carlisle get the ball downfield, and Georgie Kelly can't get hold of the ball, the Irishman, and Nathaniel Mendes-Lang giving chase again, but this time it's dealt with by Ben Barkley at the back for Carlisle. Up to McCalmont, just shy of the halfway line. Good 1 and 2 touch football from Carlisle to get themselves out of trouble. Yeah,
I've got to say, under a very good press as well. That's something Carlisle, they have to make sure that they use the ball well, be brave and try and play.
Oh, now Armstrong's got in behind for a moment against Sonny Bradley, and Bradley, under a bit of pressure, elects to put it out. No nonsense for a throw into Carlisle. It's actually gone out for a corner, says the assistant on this near side. So from nothing, Carlisle United suddenly win their first corner of the game.
It was just good play under a high press, and then a little ball over the top. I think Sonny Bradley's got to do much better there. I think anticipate that's where it's going to go, and then even when you've got time, you can put it out for a throw-in. If anything, I don't understand why he's put out for a corner. He was under a little bit of pressure, but had plenty of time to do the right thing there.
So Jack Armour, the left back, formerly from Preston, will take this corner kick for Carlisle at the south stand end. Packed 6-yard box yet again. So many players in there from both sides. It's hit deep to the far post. Headed out by Curtis Nelson. Comes out to McCalmont, driven into a crowd of bodies, and claims for a penalty kick, certainly from John Mellish, towards the referee Ben Toner, but he waves it away, and the ball's back on the halfway line with Carlisle. 1-0 Derby.
Well, I think if you put it in there, I think you're giving the referee a decision to make. I think it came off a part of the body before it hit the arm in itself, but yeah, Ben Toner, I think right decision just to let it play.
So Bolton 2-0 up at Peterborough already, but it matters not from Derby County's perspective, because they are already a goal to the good here, and just a point would secure promotion automatically for the Rams this afternoon. Carlisle in possession on halfway. It's worked out to this right-hand side, and Finn back. He gets it again, right-hand side. Good football from Carlisle. McCalmont down the right-hand side of the area, tries to cross it in. It's deflected up in the air by Cashin, and volleyed clear by Bradley for a throw to Carlisle on this near side. 1-0 Derby.
Well, I've got to say, it was excellent play from Carlisle. It's an excellent defensive challenge there from Cashin. You know, he stopped the cross from coming in. You know, they got in behind there. You know, I think it was McGeoch that got in behind, and it's an excellent cross. There was Carlisle bodies in the 6-yard box waiting for it to be cut across as well.
Ben Barkley, long throw from Carlisle into the box, headed up to the edge of the area. Mendes-Lang helps it clear. Neal will hook it back towards the edge of the box. It's a good header from Max Bird, who's thumping left-footed effort has seen Derby County in front here. Oxford lead at Exeter. Mark Harris for Oxford. They need to win realistically and better Lincoln's result. We'll check in at Lincoln at the moment to see what the reaction to that goal is, because Lincoln are at home to Portsmouth, and we have reporters there at key games on Talksport 2. Here's Luke Armstrong, looses out. McCalmont hits a drive, hits the chest of Sonny Bradley. He had his arms against his chest, sort of crossed against his chest, but it wasn't given as a penalty. Again, Ben Tonaway's play on, but Carlisle are putting some pressure on here, and they want a free kick down the left-hand side of the box. Let's quickly get to the LNER Stadium, see if Lincoln fans know about that goal for Oxford. Jeff Peters.
Well, it's just started to filter around here. It's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0. Lincoln have gone close themselves. Lasse Sorensen, edge of the box, swept it just wide. It's still in Lincoln's hands. It's 0-0.
Oxford up to 5th, Blackpool up to 6th because they lead as well. Lincoln only drawing would miss out. Free kick to Carlisle United on the left-hand side, but it'll be a right-footed delivery from Alfie McCalmont to whip it into the near post. Plenty inside the box. One or two Carlisle players just hanging back. Harrison Neal at the edge of the area looking for bits and pieces. In it comes, headed clear from Cashin to Harrison Neal. Brings it down, tries the volley goalwards, and it's blocked by Mendes Lang from downfield. And out, say the Derby fans to their defenders to push up down the field, because Carlisle have responded very well to going a goal down here. Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, it's an excellent reaction, isn't it? Using the ball really, really well down the flanks. Both side energy. Bodies breaking the neck to get in the box for the service that's coming in. Derby are defending for their lives at the minute, but they just have to have that extra little bit of quality. Yeah, they're going, throwing their body in front of it, but playing out now, can they counter?
Louis Sibley gets up to halfway for Derby. He's got Finn backpedaling. He's gone past him, but then across comes Harrison Neal with a no-nonsense challenge that ricochets through to Harry Lewis, the Carlisle keeper. Quickly bowled out to the left-hand side. They're not hanging about in terms of getting forward, the Cumbrians. Mellish, who scored 5 goals from central midfield this season. He's really a centre-back, but he's been deployed further forward. And he's rewarded his manager with some goals. Came from Gateshead very early in his career up in the northeast. Ball forward looking for Kelly, only half cleared by Bradley. Back, works it in field. Lovely ball to the edge of the air, and the shot deflects behind. It was McCalmont with a shot. And instantly Curtis Nelson, I'm not sure whether that was goal bound or not, but a brilliant challenge at source from Curtis Nelson, but it does provide Carlisle with another corner. Derby 1, Carlisle 0.
Yeah, it's another block from Curtis Nelson that had to be made. Definitely on target there, but Carlisle just moving the ball so well, you know, creating space. Just come on to it, and the connection was right. It was going on target. You know, the block had to be made there, Ian.
And block was made by Curtis Nelson. Here's the corner from McCalmont into the near post. Flick goalwards by Armour. Good save. Low down by Wildsmith. Didn't really have the pace on the shot that Jack Armour would have wanted, but Joe Wildsmith dealt with it well enough. A man who's kept 19 clean sheets this season for Derby County. That's one of the main reasons why they are where they are, towards the top of the table and gunning for automatic promotion today. 1-0 up.
Well, that's one straight off the training ground, isn't it? You look at that movement at the front, taking it, clearing that kind of near post area. Jack Armour arriving at the right time. The ball was excellent. So again, just couldn't get the right connection. Steered at goalwards, but not enough to trouble Wildsmith.
16 minutes gone on Talksport 2 at Pride Park. Derby 1, Carlisle 0. The scoreline that takes Derby back into the Championship after 2 years away. We'll check in at Oakwell in a bit, see how Barnsley are getting on against Northampton. And they are dropping out of the playoffs as things stand. But here's Georgie Kelly trying to go through the middle for Carlisle. Out comes Wildsmith to the edge of his area and clears his lines. Sent up to halfway by Corey Smith, but it ricochets back into the Derby half, but calm header from Bradley back to his keeper. So let's check in at Oakwell for the first time this afternoon on Talksport 2 with Graham Beecroft.
It's Barnsley 0, Northampton Town 0, and very little between these two sides. There hasn't been any great goalmouth action either, and some of the fans I know have just heard about what's going on elsewhere, but Barnsley really need to try to be more decisive if they're going to win this game, because right the way it stands they do need to win it. So Barnsley then fighting for to stay in the promotion position, but at this moment it's Barnsley 0, Northampton Town 0.
And they're out of those playoff positions at the moment by 1 goal from Blackpool, who led early on in their game this afternoon at Reading. Carlisle a goal down here to promotion chasing Derby County. Back, hits the ball against the arm of Louis Sibley. That's a free kick.
You can hear the fans now as well, getting on the players' back a little bit. Carlisle are completely on top, using the ball better, challenges, more aggression, more decisive in their decision making with the ball as well. Derby at the minute, the quality's just completely went out. You see a few of the players kind of breathing as well. It does take a lot more out mentally and physically, but they've got the goal. This is when you should be relaxed and get the ball down and try and play that expansive game.
Free kick to Carlisle just inside the Derby half. Harrison Neal chips it deep to the far side, looking for the header back across goal from Sam Lavelle, but instead it's hooked away downfield by Ibu Adams. Mendes Lang was the nearest to it. There's a slip by Harrison Neal that allows Sibley to pick it up on halfway for the Derby County. Just jinks his way past Neal, but can't make his way past the second challenge. Fed in field to Mendes Lang. He lays it back to Cashin on halfway. Mendes Lang, again, that hustling style of his, works the ball in field to Corey Smith. And then Mendes Lang gives it back to halfway and Aaron Cashin. And there is a breakthrough at Oakwell. Graham Beecroft.
And it's gone to Barnsley. Barnsley 1, Northampton 0. And it was Herbie Kane who scored it. A lay back from close to the goal line, right side. And Kane just altered his footing a little bit to get full power behind the shot. It was low into the goalkeeper's left. And it means it's Barnsley 1, Northampton 0.
And that will catapult Barnsley back into the playoff places at Blackpool's expense, and they would go above Oxford as well. Elsewhere, Fleetwood have taken the lead against Burton Albion. Now, Fleetwood are already down. Burton are trying to steer clear of Cheltenham, just believe them for that final relegation spot. So they trail Burton Albion at Fleetwood. A point may not be enough for Burton Albion, depending on what Cheltenham do at Stevenage today, but that's currently 0-0, so Burton are still okay as things stand, but only by a point. Here's Derby County at 1-0 up and heading back to the Championship with Kane Wilson down the right-hand side. Good ball in, looking for Collins at the near post, but a good sliding challenge from Sam Lavelle to deny Collins getting the shot on target.
Just excellent attacking play as well, Wilson. It's an excellent ball across in between the last defender and goalkeeper. James Collins coming onto it, slides, but Lavelle had to be there, had to make the contact and did exactly that. Great defending.
The two number 35s in direct opposition at the moment. Armstrong up against Nelson, but it's the Derby defender Curtis Nelson who gets the better of his man and wins a throw-in for Derby. I remember seeing Ken Wilson come through at Forest Green Rovers when they were gunning for promotion to League One, and I thought he was sensational. And he went to Bristol City, it just didn't quite happen for him, and he's resurrected himself here at Derby County, and he's heading back to the Championship next season, it would seem.
Yeah, well, it's all about getting those minutes in the legs, playing regularly, getting to consistent levels. You know, I think when you're in a team and you're not really figuring or getting the minutes, it can always be disappointing. What do you do to get that confidence back? You know, but I'm looking around the Derby side, Ian, and I'm not seeing too much players being vocal, you know, communicating. It's a massive game, isn't it? Everyone's got to be switched on, organising. Everyone's kind of just taking care of their own job at the minute.
But they are in front, and that's what matters. They lead by 1-0 with 20 minutes gone on Talksport 2 at Pride Park. Elsewhere, Cheltenham are still getting relegated as things stand, and it will be Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley and Oxford in the playoffs. Ball sent out to this near side for Ben Barclay. Centre-half rolls it into the feet of Georgie Kelly for Carlisle. Just on halfway, was pushed in the back by Cashin. Free kick.
I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm looking at it. You know, it's a great touch by the big man Kelly there. But Cashin done nothing wrong whatsoever. Good defensive challenge, just making sure. And he's kind of felt a little push in the back or felt a little bit of contact and went. I think Bentono's got to be better than that. He's got to be better.
Well, it's going to be Dylan McGeer to take this free kick, former Celtic youth player. Joined from Forest Green Rovers last July at Carlisle. And he will take the free kick on halfway. Swings it diagonally into the edge of the area, over the head of Kelly. Goes through the legs of the defender. Swung back into the near post by Armour, but that's a good catch at his near post by the Derby keeper, Joe Wildsmith. Stays Derby 1, Carlisle 0.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. You know, a little bit fortunate Carlisle there that it fell to Armour. A little bit of a kind of cross shot. I think he's just got to make his mind up, either go for goal, really ask the question of Wildsmith there, or can you pick quality out? Armour down that left hand side, end product all the time, he delivers, you know, so I think he should just pick someone out or get the shot away.
Ball is with Sonny Bradley. So 1-0 to Derby County here on Talksport 2, where we've reached the midway point of the first half on the final day of League One. Everyone kicking off at the same time. 3 o'clock this afternoon, it'll be the final day of League 2. All the games in that division will get underway. All the automatic promotion spots sorted, but there's a right old bun fight for the playoffs. 4 teams involved for pretty much 1 spot. And there's also 1 more relegation spot to be filled, although Sutton have got quite a lot of work to do if they are going to overhaul Chris Iwelumo's former side, Colchester. Here's Derby on halfway with their goal scorer. Max Bird lays it off to Bradley at the edge of the centre circle, in his own half of the field. Cashin to his left, but he goes into the centre circle for Smith, who's immediately closed down by McCalmont. And back it goes to the keeper, 1-0 Derby.
This is what I expected from Derby when we got the goal. You know, in control, being patient with it in that defensive unit, allowing Carlisle just sucking them out a little bit, and then they can go forward with a little bit of quality. You know, they don't have to go and score again to win promotion. They just don't have to concede. It's as simple as that. So keep possession of the ball.
Adams penalised for a foul on McGeoch inside the Carlisle half of the field, so the Cumbrians have the free kick. We'll check in with our reporters again in a minute for updates for some of those other key games in League One today. It's still 0-0, incidentally, between West Ham and Liverpool in the Talksport live commentary that's going on right now. If you've got the app downloaded, you can swipe easily between both stations to keep in touch with our live commentaries. Sliding challenge from Louis Sibley against Finn Back. There'll be a free kick to Carlisle United, and Sibley's already been penalised for handball. He might be sailing close to, at the very least, a final warning before a yellow card from referee Ben Toner, and that's indeed what he's getting. A little ticking off before Carlisle get this free kick. 1-0 to the Rams. Yeah,
it's good officiating from Ben Toner there. I think Sibley, if he brought out the yellow card, he's within his right. The handball was intentional. That in itself probably brings a yellow card out, but had a little talking to then. So no, brilliant from the referee.
Shrewsbury 0, Leyton Orient 2. Ethan Galbraith with a second for Leyton Orient. That's 18th against 11th. Not much riding on that game today other than professional pride. Much more riding on this one, and Derby are in the box seat, heading back to the Championship as things stand. Free kick though for Carlisle, sent into the box by Armour. Kelly can't win the flick on, headed out as far as Mendes-Lang, who heads it straight up in the air. Ball bounces awkwardly, comes off the back of McGeoch, and then Bird tries to release Ibu Adams, striding over the halfway line, but the ball swung away from him and out of play on the far side for a Carlisle throw. Let's check back in at the LNER Stadium, where Lincoln are taking on Portsmouth. As it stands, the Imps out of the playoffs. Talksport 2's Jeff Peters.
It's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0. It's been a fairly even game. Portsmouth fans making most of the noise. They're already promoted. Colby Bishop has scuffed one wide. And, of course, there's nerves around here. Lincoln, as it stands, outside of the playoff places, but still in their hands. Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
Indeed it is. Thank you, Jeff. You're listening to Talksport 2 this Saturday afternoon for the final day of League One. Derby County leading Carlisle United by 1-0. A superb early hit from Max Bird on his 200th appearance for the club. What will be his final appearance for the club as things stand, because without playoffs to worry about, he'll be off to Bristol City, having signed off with one hell of a moment. Free kick to Derby County inside their own half. Midway point of it, it's going to be the keeper, Joe Wildsmith, that's going to take it from the right-hand side. Wind still gusting around this stadium. Paul Warne with a regulation bobble hat on, even though it's April.
Well, you called it. You know, I think it is playing a part. Definitely the elements for Derby County, the way they want to go about business today, it is affecting the quality. But what I'm seeing from a Carlisle side is a very competent team in possession of the ball as well, but they're showing more energy for me. It's a close challenge, a bit naughty that.
Yeah, Mendes-Lang was caught by McCalmont. So it's a free kick to Derby. You're listening to Derby 1, Carlisle 0 in EFL League 1 on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Lots more live football to come, notably here on Talksport 2. We've got Newcastle United, Sheffield United, straight after us at 3 o'clock with Adam Bridge and Simon Grayson, your commentary team at St James's Park. Then Chelsea's women look to defend that 1-goal lead in the Women's Champions League against Barcelona. That game kicks off at 5:30. Charlotte Richardson and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. And then in the Championship, what a game at 8 o'clock with playoff and automatic promotion issues at the heart of it. Hull City against Ipswich Town. Mendes-Lang with a free kick for Derby. Headed out to the edge of the box by Kelly, defending for Carlisle. Picked up by Adams, left-hand corner of the box for Derby County. He's got Bradley on the overlap should he want to use him on this near side. He does eventually give it to the centre-half. Mendes-Lang whips the ball in quickly, and it's headed up and away by Lavelle. Again, out to this near side, the left-hand side for Derby, as they attack the north stand end. Mendes-Lang looking to work a yard of space, finds Adams, whips across in, headed out again, this time by Barkley. And it goes out of play on the far side for a Derby throw. 1-0 to the Rams.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on, good quality coming in. I think Carlisle are defending well, clearing the area, but it's second balls. Derby's picking them all up at the minute. There was a little period, 5-10 minutes ago, Carlisle was on the front foot, getting all those second balls, so better from Derby County.
Wilson out to the right-hand side, runs into Harrison Neal, who just hoofs it into the stand on the far side. Let's check back in at the Western Homes Community Stadium. Peterborough Bolton, Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, still Peterborough 0, Bolton 2. Early goals for Dempsey and Dion Charles from the spot. Had Bolton cruising early on. Posham got back into it, had one really good chance. Mothersill in one-on-one with the keeper, should really have done better. Bolton are still chasing the goals, but they need a miracle at Derby. Half an hour gone, Peterborough 0, Bolton 2.
Derby have just been given up possession here inside the Carlisle half of the field, and it's worked back to Harry Lewis, who, compared to his opposite number out there today, Joe Wildsmith, Joe's kept 19 clean sheets. Harry's only been able to keep 2 clean sheets for Carlisle, who came up via the playoffs last season, winning on a penalty shootout at Wembley. Mark Wilson, our commentary colleague who you just heard was doing commentary that day. Carlisle made it up, but one season only at this level. But Paul Simpson is more than satisfied, quote-unquote, with the budget he's been given when Carlisle dropped down to League 2 for next season. Trying to push down the left-hand side, Carlisle, and forcing Sonny Bradley to hook the ball out of play for a Carlisle throw. 1-0 to Derby as we approach the half-hour mark on Talksport 2.
Yeah, no nonsense from Sonny Bradley. He's done it on a few occasions where I think he can just get the ball down and try and play out. I do understand it, the size of the game, where they're at, 1-0 up. But you just want a little bit more composure, a little bit more quality from the big man at the back.
Be a throw down the left-hand side for Carlisle United. Armour's coming short for it. Mellish launches it to the edge of the area. It flicks infield by Armstrong, but Bradley's there again for Derby. And McGeoch trying to guide it out to Mellish on the left wing. Got his pass wrong, and it goes behind Mellish and out of play for a Derby County throw. I mentioned Hull Ipswich tonight, 8 o'clock Talksport 2. A massive game that. Leicester are already promoted, courtesy of QPR thrashing Leeds last night. Their promotion party will continue Monday night on Talksport 2 at Preston. Here's Ibu Adams for Derby. Into the area, Mendes-Lang guides it back to Sibley, tries to drive it, it's blocked, but hooks in. With offside, goes up against Mendes-Lang and Ibu Adams to deny Derby County a second. The shot from Sibley was blocked on its way to goal, and Adams came rushing in, hooked it goalwards, but he was offside. The flag went up. It stays 1-0 to the Rams.
Well, it's different class from Derby there. The trio, Mendes-Lang and Ibu Adams. Sibley got the shot away, but great little kind of touch from Mendes-Lang to kind of set for Sibley to come on. The keeper was out of it. It was a great little block that stopped. Ibu Adams then has to think about, is he onside, offside? Doesn't care, goes and gets the connection, puts it in the back of the net. I think the linesman's spot on there.
Derby County 1, Carlisle United 0. Carlisle get the ball back to their keeper Harry Lewis, and he will drive it out to the left-hand side for Sam Lavelle to work it down the channel, looking for Luke Armstrong, headed up in the air by Nelson, might drop in midfield for Carlisle. Kelly giving chase at the edge of the area, but it will trickle through to Joe Wildsmith. Georgie Kelly played for Paul Warne at Rotherham and scored a winner at Gillingham 2 years ago that sealed Rotherham's promotion back to the Championship in that yo-yo spell when they were either Championship or League One season after season. That was his first goal in English football. Now at Carlisle United, trying to upset his former manager, but Derby County have the lead. Kelly's won it back on halfway, finds McCalmon, who spins away from Cashin for a moment. Caught from behind by Mendes-Lang as he released the ball for Armstrong. Free kick for Carlisle United as Fleetwood go 2-0 up on Burton Albion. Phoenix Patterson. So advantage Cheltenham if they can do something at Stevenage, but that's still goalless. But Burton are being beaten by already relegated Fleetwood. And if Cheltenham gets something at Stevenage, then Burton could be joining Fleetwood in League 2 next season. Wigan lead Bristol Rovers, incidentally, in another mid-table game. That's Josh McGuinness, who's given Wigan the lead at the DW. So a free kick to Carlisle. Derby 1 up, but it's Jack Armour standing over it. Going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Armour into the area. Kelly rises, gets the header on it, and it's tipped over the crossbar by Wildsmith for a Carlisle corner. He was backpedaling furiously, Joe Wildsmith, and he did well because the header was looping just under the crossbar if he hadn't got anything on it. 1-0 Derby.
It's an excellent ball in from Armour, isn't it? You know, looking at Georgie Kelly there, he attacked it, knew exactly where the goal is. The contact was perfect, and he did. Wildsmith had to get a hand on it, just dipping just below the crossbar there, but excellent bit of quality there from Carlisle.
So Armour will go across to take the corner on the southwest side, right in front of us, into the near post. Good strong header clear by Cashin. Drops for Harrison Neal. Tries a drive on his left foot and it's blocked by Corey Smith, and Derby have to chase out towards the halfway line as Carlisle get it back to halfway. McGeoch, he's hit it against Sibley, and Mendes Lang is in a chase with Finback. He's beaten Finback. Out comes the keeper, and Harry Lewis got something on it in a 50-50 challenge with Nathaniel Mendes Lang at the edge of the D. And Carlisle survived. 1-0 Derby.
Well, it's a massive opportunity, isn't it? I've got to see Mendes Lang brave there. Knew there was going to be a collision with Harry Lewis. That's got to be a card as well, hasn't it?
Well, Finback's just obstructed Louis Sibley on this near side, the Derby left, as he tried to hustle his way down the wing. And it's just a ticking off for Finback rather than a card. But it will be a Derby County free kick about 25 yards maybe from the dead ball line, but right on this near touchline. 1-0 Derby.
Yeah, it's a little bit frantic from Derby, but like you say, that quality, that bravery of Mendes Lang there nearly fell in their favour, but Carlisle defended for their life.
So Sibley, having been fouled, will take the free kick himself. McCalmont as a one-man wall towards the left-hand corner of the penalty area. And Carlisle players trying to hold their line round about level with the penalty spot at the north stand end that we're looking at away to our left. Sibley, 2 or 3 paces back from the ball, going to whip it in left-footed. In it comes from Sibley. Good delivery out to the edge of the area, but there was a blue shirt there rather than a white one, and Carlisle just lumped it downfield for Derby keeper Wildsmith, who's standing right next to the centre circle as he retrieves possession. Gives it back to Sibley, who took that free kick, and chips it infield looking for James Collins. Good defending, though, at the back. But Luke Armstrong, who was back helping his defenders, put in a heavy touch, and now Aaron Cashin drifting down the inside right channel for Derby County. 1-0 the score to Derby. Automatic promotion is theirs with results as they are. Bolton are 2-0 up at Peterborough, but in order for Bolton to get automatic promotion, they'd need to win, they'd need Derby to lose, and they'd need a 4-goal swing in their favour. As it is, even what Bolton are doing is not enough. Derby are up. Ball worked in field and cleared away by Mellish for Carlisle. Good flick in field by Armstrong, trying to get Kelly away, but that's good covering defending from Louis Sibley to guide it back to his keeper. 1-0.
It's always a difficult one, that, you know, the ball's fired up. You know, if you do get any contact, it's always going to be a difficult one for Georgie Kelly to go on the end of. I'm expecting Armstrong with his quality and his physicality just to make that ball stick, get your chest, try and get your feet rooted and control that one. Allow your Carlisle to get up and support you then from the back.
It's a new strike partnership, that is, Armstrong and
Yeah,
Kelly, because they got
that.
together in January.
Yeah.
Armstrong came from Harrogate and Kelly came from Rotherham, as we mentioned before, so still an element of getting to know you about those two. Throw into Derby County. 1-0 up and heading back to the Championship as things stand. Sibley down the left wing, trying to roll away from Barkley. Wins a throw off Barkley right by the corner flag at the north stand end. So elsewhere in the table, just to remind you, Cheltenham are still getting relegated. They're 0-0 with Stevenage. Burton are losing. If Cheltenham score, that changes everything at the bottom. In the playoffs at the moment, it's Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley and Oxford in that order, 3rd to 6th. Blackpool and Lincoln missing out. Blackpool are winning. Lincoln are only drawing. But a Lincoln goal would change things. So let's get back to the LNER Stadium. Any sign of a breakthrough for the Imps? Talksport 2's Jeff Peters.
It's still goalless here between Lincoln and Portsmouth. The visitors have gone desperately close. Callum Lang and Colby Bishop in a scramble in the box. Both denied, one by the goalkeeper, one by a block. Lincoln do have a free kick in a dangerous position. The fans know here, they are well aware that as it stands, they are dropping out of the playoffs. It's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
And let's quickly check in at Oakwell. Graham Beecroft is watching Barnsley Northampton.
Yes, it's Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 0. The goal coming from Herbie Kane, really well taken. They've had a couple of chances since then as well, Barnsley. A low clearance by Roberts gave the ball away, and then Devante Cole failed to control a through ball at the other end. It was a great pass. It split the Northampton defence, but he couldn't control it. Barnsley 1, Northampton 0.
Barnsley in the playoffs with that result they're getting at the moment at Oakwell. So it would be, as things stand, Bolton taking on Oxford and Peterborough Barnsley in the playoff semi-finals. So remember, every playoff match, once we get to the semi-finals and finals, will be live across the Talksport network. And the League 2 final day plays out at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we will have reporters on Talksport at key games in League 2 at 3 o'clock. Plus, of course, goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL Championship. Not only that, but we've got Newcastle United, Sheffield United live here on Talksport 2 for our exclusive 3 o'clock commentary from the Premier League. Now, Carlisle won a free kick, a goal down here at Pride Park with 7 minutes to half-time. And it's worked back to Alfie McCalmont, who gives the ball back to the halfway line. Swung in by Harrison Neal to the edge of the area. Hit the face of Jack Armour, who tried to head it back in field, but it caught him on his face rather than on his head. And he sort of fell backwards as he tried to guide the ball in field.
I think it just took him by surprise. I think Curtis Nelson was going to come through and head it, and it's just kind of, he mistimed the ball. So Jack Armour, he just tried to put it back into the kind of danger area with the face.
Cameron Brannigan has scored a penalty for Oxford United down at Exeter. So Oxford hanging on for the moment, doing what they have to do. They have that final playoff berth at the moment, Oxford. But as we mentioned, a goal at Lincoln would change everything. And we'll be back with Jeff Peters as and when at the LNER should things change. Here is Curtis Nelson for Derby, heading back up as things stand with this 1-goal advantage they've got over already relegated Carlisle United. Sonny Bradley, once of Luton Town, on halfway. Passes left to Aaron Cashin. Good ball rolled into the feet of Mendes Lang, who sweeps it all the way back into his own half for Bradley. Bradley looks for Adams. Adams was just caught from behind there by Harrison Neal, and that will be the first yellow card of the afternoon going to the defensive midfielder. And you heard Chris Iwelumo's response to that challenge.
Strong challenge, isn't it? You know, he's came through. Adams, he's got the ball, but it's he can't be coming through the back, and the referee is spot on to bring out the yellow card. But that's what he does, you know. I think Harrison Neal, I think he covers a lot of distance. You know, he's mobile, but he puts the foot in. You know, he protects that back five.
You're listening to Talksport 2. Don't forget Talksport Breakfast back at 6 a.m. on Monday. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy looking back on the sporting weekend. If you prefer waking up to tunes with your chat, Chris Evans has the Virgin Radio Breakfast Show every weekday morning from 6:30. Just get the Talksport app and you can swipe between all the stations in our family, including Virgin and Talk TV, and of course Talksport and Talksport 2, the station you're listening to right now, where Derby County lead Carlisle by 1-0. Just less than 5 minutes to half-time here on your home of the EFL. And Derby have conceded a throw to Carlisle. But since that little flurry, Chris Iwelumo, after Derby hit the front, Carlisle have not been as quite as effective going forward to worry the home supporters that much.
Yeah, I think it's they had a great reaction. I think Paul Simpson have been delighted with that. They had opportunities in that attacking area, but then Derby have kind of took a little bit of control back, you know, and I wouldn't say through quality, but just basically putting it into the right areas. James Collins playing a big part. He's making it stick. He's allowing Derby to get up into the right areas, and then they're playing from there. But the quality needs to be a little bit better from Derby County, especially here at home in front of their own fans.
You're missing none of the action at the moment. Ebo Adams is getting some treatment. So with that, let's check in the latter stages of the first half at the Western Homes Community Stadium with Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, still Peterborough 0, Bolton 2. It's just died down a little bit here. Peterborough getting back into the game after those early concessions. They've just had a great chance. Ephron Mason-Clark got in behind Gethin Jenkins, drew the keeper, but he just put it wide of the far post. We're in the last couple of minutes of the first half here. Peterborough 0, Bolton 2.
And over on Talksport, Jared Bowen has just put West Ham in front against Liverpool in our exclusive Premier League commentary at lunchtime. So going bad to worse for Liverpool after the Merseyside derby in midweek. They now find themselves behind at the London Stadium What's that, Moyes in this week, or is that Moyes out? I don't know.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
You just can't. It changes every. Although few managers been linked with that West Ham job. Should they not renew David Moyes' contract? Ruben Amorim, who was linked with Liverpool, although Arne Slot appears to have the gig now. Julian Lopetegui, who was Wolves manager, still living in Wolverhampton apparently, even though he lost his job there. He's still living in the Midlands and waiting for another opportunity. He might be the next man in at London Stadium, although West Ham lead Liverpool. That's live on Talksport right now with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. Ebru Adams, I'm pleased to say, is back on his feet over on the far side of the field from us, getting some further treatment on the touchline. And so even though we've got 2 minutes left of the first half, there will be a couple to add on at least for stoppages, and we'll restart with a throw-in for Carlisle. Back to their own 18-yard line, and the Cumbrians will build with Ben Barkley, on loan from at Stockport last season, yet to score this season. Permanent signing after his loan spell from the Hatters. And he takes the throw back for his fellow centre-half partner Sam Lavelle, just in front of his own 18-yard line. Goes across to John Mellish, and back in field. Adams is allowed back onto the field after that sort of 30 seconds that you have to spend on the touchline once you've had treatment from physios. Incidentally, our producer tells me that both those Carlisle shots earlier in the half that went into a melee and a forest of players did hit arms. It's simply a question of whether those arms were in an unnatural position, and as far as Ben Toner was concerned, they were not. So it stays Derby County 1, Carlisle 0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I don't get that. I think go back to the old rule. You know,
there's a striker who wants to add to his goal tally.
If a shot's going on target and it hits arm, who does it advantage?
But how about when you had Sonny Bradley with his arm crossed like an X?
Yeah, but I don't understand why he's put his arms there. You know, if anything, you know, get your arms. It's not a natural position for the arms, is it? If you're across your chest.
I guess not. Ball's back with Curtis Nelson. Ebro Adams back on the field. Just loses out on halfway for a moment, but in steps Kane Wilson to keep the ball away from Armour. And then Wilson couldn't keep the ball in play. We just moved into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time at Pride Park at the end of this first half. Paul Simpson, suited and booted away to our left-hand side, just trudges back to his dugout, the former Derby County player and coach. Forward comes Mellish, and the ball's gone out for a corner. Adams slid in. Stevenage lead against Cheltenham, so reprieve for Burton Albion, it would appear. Kane Hemmings, was he what of Burton, has given Stevenage the lead from the penalty spot against Cheltenham, and so that means that there is Burton could do anything from this point and they'll still stay up. Cheltenham then trail right on half-time at the Lamex. Carlisle trail here right on half-time at Pride Park against Championship-bound Derby County. But it is going to be a corner kick to Jack Armour, who'll swing it in left-footed. In comes delivery. Wildsmith punches awkwardly clear to the right-hand side of the box, but Mendes Lang retrieved it but couldn't keep it in play. It's a throw-in to Carlisle on that far side as the visitors push at the end of this first half to try and get themselves on terms right at the end of the League One campaign. Mellish swings it into the area, but it just bounces through to Wildsmith, who can actually take the ball on his chest before he grabs hold of it as Luke Armstrong went towards him. Yeah, Kane Hemmings was indeed a Burton Albion player, so he's doing his old side a favour there for Stevenage.
Wasn't a bad ball there from Mellish, you know, a lot went over the top. You're looking at Armstrong and Georgie Kelly there, just try and anticipate that. You know, it is a straight ball, you know, you want more of an angle, but the pace was right if you're on your front foot.
You get that horrible moment in your head. Did he play for... You've got that in... That was my Kane Hemmings moment right there. I thought, am I going to do myself a right mischief here by saying he used to play for Burton? Wow, the old grey matter hasn't failed me yet. Talksport 2 with 2 minutes of the minimum 3 gone at the end of this first half. So as it stands, Cheltenham will be relegated. They're losing at Stevenage. Derby here are going up automatically. They lead Carlisle, Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley and Oxford in the 4 playoff spots at the moment. Derby coming forward down the left-hand side of the box with Mendes Lang. Guides it back for Sibley. Mendes Lang tries to take over, but Finn Back gets it clear for Carlisle, only as far as Corey Smith. Out to the right-hand side, and Nelson into the edge of the area. Bird flicks it down the right-hand side of the box. Adams tries to get a shot away and it's blocked behind. And it wasn't for a corner kick, was it? No, it's been given as a goal kick. Reading have equalised against Blackpool. Sam Smith with another goal for him for this season. That's 15 for the campaign for Sam Smith. And that dents Blackpool's hopes of getting involved in the playoffs. They needed a fairly strange set of results, really. They needed to win and hoped two of Oxford, Lincoln and Barnsley would fail to win. Goal kick downfield hit by Harry Lewis. We've played the 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time. Ball headed up in the air by Cashin. Back, heads it down the Carlisle right wing looking for Armstrong. Ball's hit against him by Bradley. And that will be a throw-in to Derby County. And we turn our eyes to the referee, Ben Toner, to see when he's had enough and sends the players back down the tunnel. And they'll walk back down the tunnel, but I sense if things stay as they are, they're going to have to run back down the tunnel at the 90-minute mark.
Yeah. Got to say, Ibu Adams covering a massive amount of distance, isn't he?
Well, we've reached the halfway distance at Pride Park, and Derby County are halfway to a championship return. A quite magnificent early goal from Max Bird. Settled nerves inside this stadium, crashing the ball home from 25 yards out. They've had further chances to extend their lead. Carlisle had a decent spell straight after going behind, but Joe Wildsmith hasn't had that many saves to make in the Derby County goal. So as it stands, it's all good for the Rams. They will be back in the Championship after a 2-year absence unless something dramatically wrong goes against them in the second half. At the break, it's Derby County 1, Carlisle United 0.
So far at Pride Park, the champagne very much on ice. Derby getting the job done, but let's find out what's been happening across the division on the final day, shall we? We'll start at London Road, where Bolton have been doing their bit, but things not going their way at the moment in their push for automatic promotion to try and overtake Derby today. Let's hear about what happened in the first half there. Here's Talksport's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, half-time here. Peterborough 0, Bolton 2. Bolton getting off to an electric start. They almost scored inside the opening 60 seconds. Cross on the right-hand side. Dempsey's header and forced a great save out of Jed Steer. But from the corner, whipped in from the far side, it was Dempsey's downward header that went into the back of the net. That put Bolton in front. Then they got a penalty when Randall Williams was fouled on the edge of the penalty area. It looked controversial. Peterborough certainly weren't happy. Dion Charles stepped up and sent the keeper the wrong way to make it 2-0 inside 7 minutes. They kept on attacking, had a couple of half-decent chances. Collins had a shot deflected. And right at the end of the half, Dion Charles blazed over from close range when really he should have hit the target. At the other end, Mothersill and Mason Clark both had good chances. Mason Clark outpacing Jenkins through the keeper 5 inches wide of the far post. I think there's more goals in this, but I think once Bolton get in at half-time and realise the score at Derby, they might not quite be as up-tempo in the second half. Peterborough 0, Bolton 2.
Elsewhere, Barnsley are currently clinging on to their playoff place. It's half-time at Oakwell. Here's Graham Beecroft.
Yes, it's Barnsley 1, Northampton 0, and they got that goal right at the beginning of the game, virtually. It was beautifully taken by Herbie Kane. They attacked down the right-hand side, Barnsley, got the ball back from the right-hand touchline, and Kane perfectly adjusted his feet to fire home a tremendous shot, which the goalkeeper Lee Birch had no chance of saving. The other good chances have come to Barnsley as well. Devante Cole failed to control the through ball. It would have been a great chance for him had he managed to do so. And just before half-time, Cole couldn't control an awkward ball close to the Northampton goal. So once again, a little bit of footwork going missing as far as Devante Cole is concerned. At the other end, Northampton, few attacks. They've had a couple of corners which have looked half dangerous, but Apere chased a through ball in front of the Barnsley goal on 37. Couldn't get a shot in because the goalkeeper and a defender smothered the danger. So half-time, Barnsley 1, Northampton 0.
And Lincoln just need a win to secure their playoff spot, but at the moment they find themselves outside the top 6. They're taking on champions Portsmouth in front of Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's 0-0 here. It's not going how Michael Skabala would have hoped. The Imp season will be over if it stays like this. Yes, they've been on a fantastic run with 12 wins in 16 to get them in the playoff mix, but they haven't shown anywhere near that kind of form today. 3 shots, none on target, Quiet so far for Will Norris in the visitors' goal. Not so quiet for the referee, who's dished out 5 yellow cards, 2 per side, plus 1 for the Pompey boss, John Massinho. The travelling fans have been in great voice, enjoying their promotion and winning the title. They've had the better of what limited chances have come along. Colby Bishop scuffed one wide when well placed. He was also denied by a Jensen save, and the follow-up saw Callum Lang's shot blocked. So it's a bit muted and tense amongst the home supporters as they know what's happening elsewhere, and it's not going their way. 8th as it stands. Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
Just to keep you across the relegation picture as well, it's not going well for Cheltenham so far. They're losing at Stevenage. That seems them down as it stands. That's despite Burton trailing away at already relegated Fleetwood. But Cheltenham need to get themselves back in the game if they'll have any chance of staying up. I'll quickly run you through how it looks in the table. At the moment, it's Portsmouth and Derby going up. In the playoff places, it's Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley and Oxford United have snuck in as it stands at the moment. Down at the bottom in the relegation picture, Burton teeter just above on 46 points, and then it's Cheltenham on 44 as well. So for the most part in League One so far, it's as they were. We'll see if there's some twists and turns in the second half of all of the games on the final day as well. So far though, at Pride Park, let's bring back in Chris Iwelumo. Chris, we spoke before the game about the importance of Derby getting an early goal. What a strike it was within about 5 minutes from Max Bird to put them 1-0 up at the moment against Carlisle.
Yeah, it was an excellent strike, wasn't it? You know, I think he had a lot to do. Received the ball, 22 yards on the angle and just let one go. You know, connection was excellent. Harry Lewis had no chance in the Carlisle goal, and like you say, I expected him to kind of go on and kind of dominate the game. It wasn't to be the case. You know, I think Carlisle reacted well, got the ball down, played some really nice football under high intensity without the ball from Derby County, and Carlisle looked like the next team, the team that was going to go on and get the next goal, but it wasn't to be. Not really having that attacking quality, that ruthlessness in the attacking areas. But I've got to say, I think Paul Warren, there'll be some harsh words said. You know, I think Carlisle have quietened down this Derby crowd as well. So it's just important that they go out and they play with a certain confidence. But that was warranted from getting that early goal, because it was a very kind of even game, and then an absolutely worldly strike from Max Bird. But you want to kind of build on that and take the game to Carlisle, but it's been the exact opposite. So I need to see some more quality, because the nerves are, and I know there's a lot that's got to happen. Bolton are doing their job, they're keeping the pressure on, but I want Derby to go out there and play the way I know they can do.
You're right about that response from Carlisle after Derby had taken the lead. They played some really nice football, and as well there was a shout for handball as well inside the box from McCalmont's shot in the first half. It hit Sonny Bradley on the arm, it was waved away, but was it enough to give a penalty for you?
Well, I think it is. You know, I think if it's struck well, it's going towards goal. You know, I think it's that the advantage is only for Derby. You know, but it's a hard one for Ben Toner. You know, I think we all talk about this natural position for the arms to be in. Well, if that's the case, when it comes off Curtis Nelson, when he puts the cross across his chest and it hits the arm, that's an unnatural position for the arms to be in. So you just want a little bit of consistency from the officials. But the way the pace that the game's played at, you know, the positioning of the referee, and I've got to say he's been good at it today. It's always a difficult decision to make.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it will be some upset now, won't it, if Carlisle do manage to come back from here, and given the fact that Derby only need to avoid defeat today. Naturally, Pride Park will be a bit nervy, but you can see them getting the job done from here, can't you?
Well, I can see them getting the job done. You know, I think how defensively sound they've been this campaign as well. But you look at Carlisle, I think there's been a few kind of warning signs there as well. So hopefully the players themselves will address a few things in the dressing room. I want them to take a little bit more responsibility out there, a little bit frantic from the defensive point of view, from going from back to front with the way that they want to play. It's like nothing balls, you know. They're just putting the ball anywhere. Now that's with the quality they've got with the players they've got leading the line. You know, James Collin, Mendes Lang, let the quality from back to front, let the ball stick in, and that's when they've got the pace in the side to go up and support. I've not really seen that, you know, from the Derby side. So I just want a little bit more quality from them, Molly.
Indeed. Second half commentary from Pride Park comes next, and the final 45 of the League One season as well. So much still up for grabs for all sorts of sides across the country. Coming up next, though, here on Talksport 2, we're going to look ahead to our 3 p.m. offering in the Premier League as Newcastle take on Sheffield United.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the EFL. EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Fancy some extra fries for extra time? Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Right. Time for Dulux Trade Vinyl Mat.
Diamond mat's best for high traffic areas. Here you go.
Aren't you from Dulux Decorator Centre? I didn't know you...
Delivered? We do. We're with you when you're too busy to come to us.
Nice. Can I order online through my...
Trade account? Sure. With your trade discount, prices tailored to you and Nectar points, you'll save every time you shop.
Nice one. Time for a brew.
Visit us in-store or online today. Dulux Decorator Centre. Moving forwards with you.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly. Not available in Northern Ireland.
With Now, you can stream all the drama of the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
Absolutely brilliant.
This Sunday, two of the title contenders are in action as Tottenham take on Arsenal in the North London derby before Nottingham Forest face Man City at the City Ground.
Can you believe it?
Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream the race for the title. Live this Sunday from 2 p.m. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
Thank you! Okay, this last song goes out to all those in the crowd who drove hours to get here and have now got to drive all the way back home again tonight. This one's called Better Get a Travel Lodge.
Planning a big night out? Better get a Travel Lodge. Find great value, king-size comfort at travellodge.co.uk.
New Epic Eats Bangin' Barbecue from McCoy's. Fire up your taste buds with a blend of smoky, sweet, and subtle spice. Epic flavor, epic crunch, epic eats. Because only the real McCoy's taste like the real McCoy's.
Kick off your Sunday morning with a weekend sports breakfast on Talksport with goals. The free football pull-out with the Sun. Scores! Lace up your boots with the nation's brightest sports breakfast, featuring insider news, big match previews, and expert analysis from Tony Cascarino and Natalie Sawyer.
Oh, it's absolutely magnificent!
Get fully loaded for football with a weekend sports breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 on Talksport with goals. The essential free football pull-out with the Sun every Saturday, Sunday and Monday. Tuesday night, live championship football.
Talksport 2. And it's an absolute cracker.
Coventry versus Ipswich.
Preemptive build-up as the bell strikes 7. Main event from 8 p.m.
Tuesday night on Talksport 2.
Feel the power and the glory.
Game day.
And he scored. It's a brilliant goal.
Fired up and raring to go.
EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2.
This is EFL Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. I'm Ollie Klink. Hope you're having a brilliant Saturday. We've got the second half from Pride Park to come. It's currently Derby 1, Carlisle 0. Derby are heading up to the Championship as it stands. We're live today, though, from St James's Park, where Newcastle could relegate Sheffield United from the Premier League later on. Let's look ahead to that game now with Talksport's Alan Bridge, and alongside me as well, the former Preston and Leeds manager, Simon Grayson. Gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. All good, thank you.
Yeah, it's always lovely to be up here.
Good stuff. It is indeed, isn't it? It's looking fantastic as well at the stadium. Over to our right, the Gallagher end has some display ready to go. I think it might be a Brazilian flag that we're going to see a bit later.
I think on. you may see something that says "Please don't go, Bruno" potentially at some point as well on a bed sheet that someone's knocked up at home.
There's a begging ball there as well.
Gentlemen, we'll talk about Newcastle in just a moment. If we start with Sheffield United, today could be finally the day that they head down. It's been inevitable for a while. Simon, can you see anything other than that happening this afternoon?
No, not really. I think it's, like you say, it's the inevitable is going to happen probably today. I expect Newcastle to win and Sheffield United get relegated back to the Championship. It's been a tough year for them. Probably a season where they expected to be in this sort of position, but I think they will be very disappointed still how they've performed and some of the results they've had recently, the number of goals, which probably we'll talk about in more detail later, that conceded. and really they've just gone down with a bit of a whimper rather than any fighting spirit, really, or could go down.
Indeed, and Newcastle have their own European hopes to push for as well. They took a bit of a blow on Wednesday, Adam. They lost at Selhurst Park, but that was after a run of some pretty good results as well. They beat Fulham, they beat Tottenham convincingly here as well. Does this feel like the perfect game for them to get back on track at home against a team that, let's be honest, are quite beatable?
Yeah, I mean, that's their only defeat in the last 5 in the Premier League, so I think that's a good steer as to the kind of form that they've been in. They've taken 36 points here already this season. That's 72% of what they've notched up. They've scored in every single home game. I mean, I was up here for the game against West Ham, which was an absolute thriller. The atmosphere as well, and then pumping Spurs as well. I mean, they've been in terrific form here. The one thing about both of these sides, and it wouldn't surprise me when we get the team news at 2 o'clock that we see a lack of changes, because neither of them have got many options at the moment. It's almost stick that first 11 out that they've got available and do the very best you can. But I mean, the way United have faltered, Manchester United have faltered, I mean, it's all there for Newcastle United if they want to take it. They've got tough games to come, but that 6th spot could be theirs.
That's just 3 points behind 6th place. Adam and Simon will be taking you through that game a bit later on today on Talksport 2, but right now let's head back across to Pride Park. Derby currently leading Carlisle and currently heading back up to the Championship. Let's join your commentary team, former Watford striker Chris Iwelumo and your Talksport commentator Ian Danter.
Thanks, Ollie. Players lined up ready for the start of the second half. No changes from either manager at the break, so Carlisle will get us underway wearing all blue this afternoon, heading for the North Stand away to our left in this second half. Derby County leading by a goal to nil, heading back to the Championship in their regulation home strip. White shirts and socks, black shorts. They'll be attacking the South Stand away to our right. I'll run you through the lineups in just a minute. Don't forget, we've got reporters at Barnsley, at Lincoln and at Peterborough as well to keep you updated with goals as they go in those games. Here's Nathaniel Mendes-Lang hustling his way into the area, right-hand side, puts it across the face of goal, and it just eluded James Collins, who's collided with the far post, trying to get on the end of that cross from Mendes-Lang. Derby nearly starting the second half by scoring a second.
Well, it's an excellent ball. You know, excellent start from Derby as well down this right-hand side. Mendes-Lang gets the ball, he's got the full half to run into, he's driving forward. As soon as he goes into the 18-yard box, I've got to say James Collins does everything right. As soon as Mendes-Lang gets the ball, he pulls away at the back. It's an excellent ball across between last defender and goalkeeper. I think it's got to be in the back of the net, I'll be honest with you. All the pace was on the cross scene. He just has to make sure that there's a connection. Now he swings the feet at it and misses the ball altogether. You know, he doesn't have to swing the feet at it. He just has to make sure he gets the connection and just basically just guides it into the goal there. And he did collide with the post, but you could see he was so disappointed with himself punching the ground.
Derby lineup with Wildsmith in goal, Nelson, Bradley and Cashin at the back, Wilson, Smith, Adams, Sibley, Bird, Collins and Mendes-Lang. As Sibley loses possession just inside the Carlisle half. The Carlisle lineup, Lewis the keeper, back Lavelle, Barkley and Armour. At the back four, Neil just in front. He's on a yellow card this afternoon. McCalmont, McGeoch and Mellish in behind Armstrong and Kelly in attack. And it will be a throw to Derby, and Aaron Cashin's having to just leapfrog the advertising hoardings on the far side to get hold of the loose ball to throw it back into play. 10 yards inside the Carlisle half of the field. And he will actually send it back to the halfway line. And Sonny Bradley, who plays a 1-2 with Cashin, then works it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Liverpool equalise early in the second half on Talksport at West Ham. Andy Robertson making it 1 apiece. Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce, your commentary team at the London Stadium. If you've got the Talksport app, you can swipe easily across to Talksport from Talksport 2 and pick up that commentary. But here on Talksport 2, our concentration is on the final day of League One. Derby going back to the Championship, courtesy of a player who is going back to the Championship, but not with Derby. Max Bird is leaving for Bristol City in the summer. And there's a goal at the Western Homes Community Stadium. Let's get the detail. Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
It'll go down well at your place. It's Peterborough 1, Bolton 2. An easy tap in for Malik Mothersill after good work down the right-hand side by Ajiboye. He just crossed it in there on Mark, 6 yards out. Mothersill makes no mistake. Peterborough 1, Bolton 2.
That's right, Mark, because that will just cut down the goal difference that little bit more. Even though that's still 3 points for Bolton, the goal swing's got to go in their favour too. 1 or 2 Derby fans might be getting aware of that around the stadium. Not quite a tumultuous roar, but a Peterborough equaliser would certainly give us that.
I think so.
Meanwhile, Carlisle send a long ball downfield looking for either Armstrong or Kelly in attack, but it's well dealt with by the Derby rearguard. Comes back to Georgie Kelly, though, in the centre of the Derby half. Now Harrison Neal can pass the ball to his immediate left, and Mellish. Mellish has got Armour on the overlap outside of him, but he goes back instead to Harrison Neal. Wigan 2, Bristol Rovers 0 in League 2. Johnny Smith with a second for the Latics. Here's Dylan McGeer. Came into the side today for Jack Diamond in Carlisle's starting lineup. McCalmont chips it down the right-hand side looking for back, but it's intercepted by Sibley, who lofts the ball up to the halfway line looking for Collins. It's well dealt with at the back by Harrison Neal, helping out his centre-halves, and he has it again on halfway and strokes it out to Finn back on the right-hand side. 1-0 Derby.
Sees a lot of the ball, Harrison Neal. You know, I think you look at him, stocky build, but he covers a lot of the grass. But like you say, he's always there, always wanting the ball, always presenting himself, and like you say, telling in the challenges that he goes and makes, aerial duels that he goes and wins as well.
Back on the right-hand side, he's got a run down the right-hand side from Armstrong, who's won a corner for Carlisle at the North Stand end. Paul Simpson just turns away and applauds for a moment as Carlisle win that corner over on the far side of the field in the northeast corner. Leyton Orient have a third at Shrewsbury. Daniel Agye makes it Shrewsbury 0, Leyton Orient 3. And it's a corner to Carlisle that Jack Armour's going across the tape. 1-0 Derby County.
Yeah, good quality down there, Finn back, that energy, you know what you're going to get. Up and down, but like you say, Sonny Bradley come along. I think Derby are kind of comfortable.
Swinging corner from Armour, headed away by Cashin at his near post. Neal lobs it back into the danger area, but there's an offence committed by a Carlisle player in the box, so it will be a free kick to Derby County inside their own 18-yard box that Joe Wildsmith will take.
And when I say comfortably, and it's like you look at Curtis Nelson, Sonny Bradley, and Cashin as well, there's a real understanding there. Sibley gets back and does his bit, Wilson, you know, and then they've got the two that protect. Yeah, Carlisle have had their moments, but still have not had those clear-cut chances, and I think that's down just to organisation, communication, defending as well, and players willing to put their body on the line. What I want to see from them, though, is just that extra little bit of quality when they get possession of the ball.
Still a blustery day at Pride Park here in the East Midlands. Wind swirling around this stadium. It's not that long ago that I was here in an empty Pride Park for what was a relegation decider in the Championship between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday that Derby survived in the end. Martin Waghorn got the vital goal in a drawn game that saw Derby stay up under their then manager Wayne Rooney. And they're heading back to the Championship, where they will surely want to give a far better account of themselves after the Mel Morris era and all the trials and tribulations that Derby County went through. And there were players here on ridiculous money for where they were. I think the new owners have been a lot more circumspect. David Close bought Derby in 2022 and bought the stadium as well. And the transfer embargo was lifted a year ago. And that's when Paul Wong went for the experience that you mentioned at the top of the show, Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, I think it is important. You know, I think it's good to have energy and identity, but you need leaders out there as well. And to be fair, there's some good young players that are very vocal and go out there and lead by example as well.
Sibley trying to get in on the loose ball as it dropped down the right-hand side, but Ben Barclay did just enough for Carlisle. But Derby have won it back, and it's shoveled out to the left wing, and Sibley, level the edge of the penalty area, comes in field for a moment, plays it into Bird, who tries to drift down the left-hand side of the box, and McCalmont just stepped in front of him, but he toe-poked the ball behind. I think that's Derby County's first corner. 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, it was good play, Sibley. I thought the way to pass into the path of Max Bird there, I think he lost his footing. McCalmont, I don't think he had to go and make the challenge. I think he could have went in and anticipated it and kept possession of the ball, but he had to follow Max Bird all the way anyway. So good defending there from McCalmont.
So a corner in that southeast corner in front of the travelling Carlisle support, and Mendes Lang looks like he's going to take it right-footed. Sibley was there for the short option. There's a love train of Derby players that split as Mendes Lang swings it in, punched away by Lewis, the Carlisle keeper, coming out like Superman, and he did get a decent connection on the punch.
Well, he had to come out because it's Curtis Nelson that's just basically planted right in front of him. Good goalkeeping because he came over the top. Curtis Nelson, I thought it was an excellent ball in from Mendes Lang as well, right on the money as well, but good strong hand there from Harry Lewis.
So it's a throw 10 yards from the dead ball line on this near side for Derby County. Curtis Nelson drives the ball on his jersey. Mendes-Lang has come short, but he is going to go long now, Nelson, with this throw. Very low, flat trajectory. Drops to the far post for Collins. Tries to tee up Sibley. Left-hand corner of the area. Sibley gets right underneath the shot, and it goes high, wide, and not particularly handsome into the Derby fans in the south stand. Goal kick Carlisle. Derby still 1-0 up.
It's just there were so many things wrong. You know, Mendes-Lang comes short. There's cutting, and only one defender comes. So that's when your 2v1 scenario. Give the ball short and then get at your man. Then when James Collins gets the ball in the box here, take the shot on. You know, it's bouncing nicely for you. Yeah, your back's to go, but just swivel and make sure the connection's right. Could go anywhere.
9 minutes gone in the second half. Derby County 1, Carlisle United 0. And the ball is being changed, I think, because the referees has been informed that the ball is a bit too flat. So Harry Lewis has a new match ball with which he can volley clear downfield. Up it goes into the centre circle, nodded down by Cashin. Carlisle will win it back. McGeoch finds back, tries to take on Sibley down the right-hand side. Good tracking back from Louis Sibley. And it's a Carlisle throw, 1-0 Rams.
Nice little battle that, you know. I think Sibley up and down, but thin back every time he gets it. And this is what I love about him as well. He opens the body up. Can he go forward? If he can, he either passes it forward or he runs into that space.
Chris Iwelumo alongside me, Ian Danter. Lincoln City have missed a penalty. We can't go to Jeff Peters at the LNER, but Lincoln have missed the chance to get back into the playoffs. They're at home to Portsmouth today, the champions, but they've missed a penalty. We'll get detail on that as soon as we can. And Cheltenham Town have just equalised at Stevenage. Matty Taylor makes it Stevenage 1, Cheltenham 1. So they're back in the hunt. Burton losing at Fleetwood. Cheltenham need another goal and they would stay up. Exeter get a goal back against Oxford United. Milenik Ali, stand up if you love the Rams. And everyone's on their feet around us here in the Toyota West Stand. 10 minutes gone in the second half. And the positivity around this stadium, as you might expect from a team that knows they only needed a point to go back up. At the moment, they've got all three. Cash in with the throw. Carlisle win it back. It's with Finn back on loan from Nottingham Forest on the right-hand side. He'll want to put in a good performance against Derby County, but he's lost out. But Carlisle do win it back. Armour, the other fullback on this near side, the left, goes back into his own half for Sam Lavelle. Now Barkley, the other centre half, just moves over the halfway line, but he's immediately closed down by Abu Adams and has to go back to Sam Lavelle. Trying to take the ball away from Mendes-Lang and fire the ball downfield down the right-hand channel, looking for the run of Armstrong. Easily intercepted by Cashin. And then a foul on halfway on Ibu Adams, who's been in the wars this game, the Derby County midfielder. And the Rams have that free kick just shy of halfway, 1-0. Let's get the detail on that missed penalty from Talksport 2's Jeff Peters at Lincoln.
Yeah, it's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0. Danny Mandroiu was nudged over in the penalty area. He stepped up to take it. He slipped when he was taking the spot kick, and it was easily saved by Norris in the pom. Ben House has also missed a huge opportunity, volleying over from 6 yards. Huge moments in this game. It's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
And that still means that Lincoln are out of the playoff picture. They are in 7th. Oxford in 6th. Barnsley in 5th. Free kick for Derby County. Wildsmith hits it up to the edge of the area. Flicked on by Cash and just drops beyond Curtis Nelson, who'd also got forward. It was well marshalled by Luke Armstrong and cleared away by the keeper.
Yeah, it's very important there. Armstrong just kind of made sure that he was right up the back of Nelson so he couldn't backtrack and get any contact on that ball, so Harry Lewis can come out and claim comfortably.
So at the top of the table, Derby 1, Carlisle 0 here at Pride Park. Peterborough 1, Bolton 2, as you heard from Mark Wilson a little earlier. Peterborough getting a goal back. Elsewhere, Barnsley are in front against Northampton. We'll check back in with Beaky in a minute. Oxford are also in front 2-1 at Exeter. It was 2-0. So there's a little bit of jeopardy now appeared for Des Buckingham and Oxford United, holding on to that final playoff spot. And at the bottom, Burton are still staying up. They're losing at Fleetwood, but Cheltenham are only drawing against Stevenage. Cheltenham need to win. Ball into the area. Fired in by James Collins. start the championship party now. Derby are on their way back to England's second tier, and it's their top scorer, James Collins, who fires it home. Great knockdown to find Collins 6 yards out. He hooks it home. Derby County heading back to the championship. Derby 2, Carlisle 0.
Well, time and time again he's done it, hasn't he? James Collins anticipates the knockdown coming in. He's in the right position. I think it's Sonny Bradley who just got in front of his man, just kind of cushioned it into the path of Collins, and it just hits it into the roof of the net. It's an excellent finish. Strikerson, I'm just looking at the monitor there, a little pause. Don't think it's offside. Great knockdown, I tell you what, great first touch, and then boom, left foot into the roof of the net. What a finish that is, and what a goal. So important, Ian.
He joined from Cardiff a couple of years ago, James Collins. That's his 14th championship League One goal this season. Well, maybe he'll score 14 championship goals next season for Derby County. Well, quite magnificent. This is a club that regularly sells out in League One, and these stands will be full again next season, and they'll be taking on higher grade opponents. 2-0 up. Kelly goes for goal for Carlisle at the other end, but it drifts wide, and it will be a goal kick to Derby County, and the celebrations are very much underway here in the East Midlands.
Yeah, like you say, they've came in the right vein, and they're enjoying their day. You know, I've got to say, Carlisle done everything in their power to quieten this place, but you could just see it was gathering in the second half. Derby have come out a different team, really in control, using the ball much better. The quality and end product going into the box has been excellent. You know, winning second balls, it's something that they were definitely lacking in the first half. So whatever's been said has been the right thing.
Nelson heads clear for Derby up to halfway, flicked on by Adams, brought down by Collins, but was taken off his toe by Mellish. And Mellish just been told to calm a little from his manager Paul Simpson as he ran over the dead ball line. And now Carlisle have an awful lot of work to do, and I did mention they had the worst away form in League One this season. 4 wins, 15 defeats, although 2 of those wins came against high-grade opponents in Bolton and Peterborough. But today, bar a little spell after Derby went 1-0 up, they've found it difficult to impose themselves on this football match. Just being swept away by the atmosphere here as the ball's played up to Luke Armstrong. Tries to flick it on for Kelly for Carlisle. He does get the flick on, but Cashin can let the ball run across his body and then fire it down to Collins. Lovely header in field. And Mendes Lang tries to cushion a header down for Max Bird. But across comes McGeoch to win it back for the Cumbrians. Mellish gets up to the halfway line and spreads it left for Max Bird. And Paul Warne, who you might remember had Rotherham United in 8th place in the Championship when he left for Derby County in September of 2022. Didn't get them up at the first time of asking after that dramatic last day at Sheffield Wednesday that Chris and I were at for Talksport 2 that day. But this is vindication for his decision to move from Rotherham to Derby County.
Yes. You know, I think there's a lot of expectation. Paul Warne, very confident in his own abilities, you know, but he's got to come in, he's got to make sure that he protects the squad but also deliver consistently, and they have done this year. You look at what they've achieved, you know, 27 wins, 8 draws, 10 losses. You know what I mean? Looking to turn it into 28 wins. It's been outstanding, 19 clean sheets.
Well, he did say to his players, if you get 2 points a game for the season, you'll be promoted. And he's dead right, because that's exactly what they're on. 92 points from 46 games played as things stand. There's nothing Bolton Wanderers can do. Let's check in at Oakwell. Are Barnsley hanging on to that 1-goal lead? How are they playing? Graham Beecroft.
Yes, they are. 62 minutes gone. It's Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 0, but there have been chances for both sides, and just after half-time a great opportunity for the visitors, Northampton Town. Breakaway, Pinnock's shot was deflected just over the bar, and from the corner they couldn't create anything, Northampton Town. But then at the other end, a real golden opportunity. A dreadful clearance by Roberts, the Northampton goalkeeper. Barnsley won the ball on the edge of the penalty area. They had plenty of opportunities to do what they wanted to with it. They over-elaborated, though, and the golden chance was gone. Barnsley 1, Northampton 0.
And let's check in at the Western homes as well. The Bolton fans who've travelled to Peterborough now realise it's the playoffs. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, they do. It's still Peterborough 1, Bolton 2, and it's all Peterborough here. Mothersill had a shot bundled off the line when it looked like he should have scored. We've seen efforts from Mason Clark and Randall Williams beaten away by the keeper. And we've also seen Cipriano just have a shot deflected over. It's all Peterborough here. Got 24 left. It's Peterborough 1, Bolton 2.
You're listening to Talksport 2 on the final day of League One, with Derby County heading back to the Championship. 2-0 up against Carlisle United. Flags waving in this breezy afternoon in the East Midlands. And there's a real feeling of joy around this place. Balls with Corey Smith for the Rams inside his own half. Plays it up to Max Bird. Cashin turns it round the corner up to James Collins, who scored the second. Lovely ball in field. Max Bird trying to release Mendes Lang through the middle. Might break for Ibu Adams, but John Mellish steps in front of him and guides the ball back to his keeper. There is a goal back at the Western homes. Mark Wilson.
You can start the party now for sure, because it's Peterborough 2, Bolton 2 here. Lovely ball over the top. Joel Randall in on goal from the halfway line. Didn't panic. Chipped the advancing Baxter. Playoffs for Bolton. It's Peterborough 2, Bolton 2.
And maybe title back on for Liverpool. They lead at West Ham coming from behind. An old goal from Thomas Soucek means it's West Ham 1, Liverpool 2 on Talksport right now with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. But here on Talksport 2, that news of that Peterborough equaliser may just be drifting around Pride Park. As Derby win it back, it's Mendes Lang up to the edge of the area, driving in, checks inside. Can he beat the keeper? Oh, he tried to square it back unselfishly for Collins, and that allowed Harry Lewis to pounce on the loose ball. Stays 2-0 Derby.
Well, great understanding from Collins and Mendes Lang there. Great bit of quality as well. He's just done the little close drag back as well. Keeper went, defender went. I think he's just got to go for goal, put the left foot through it there, Ian, but selfless as he is, he's tried to put it back into the path of Collins there, and I've got to say Harry Lewis reacted very well and got the ball under his own control with the hands there. Unbelievable.
He is the assist king, Nathaniel Mendes Lang, here this season. 16 assists for Derby County. Only needs one more goal to get double figures for the season. Maybe he should have had a go, but it matters not in the context of the way this game is panning out, because Derby County are 2 goals to the good. And heading back to the Championship is Ibu Adams, who's become a real fan favourite since his arrival from Forest Green Rovers. He gives it back to Mendes Lang, just over the halfway line, and back just inside his own half for Curtis Nelson. Adams tries to slide it down the right-hand side, asking Kane Wilson, another former Forest Green player, to give chase. And the clearance from Harry Lewis is sort of heading our way. Kept in play, in actual fact, by Jack Armour before it gets over the touchline. McCalmont guides it down for McGeoch. Good ball to release Ben Barkley. Up it goes to McCalmont on halfway. And he swings it out to the left wing, and Jack Armour turns it around the corner for Mellish. Good football from Carlisle United. Mellish goes infield to Armour, but then across comes Curtis Nelson with a strong challenge, and now the Rams have it back. Mendes Lang plays a 1-2 with Adams inside his own half, then flicks it back for Wilson. And Derby are in no hurry, it seems, to get it downfield. Lovely ball round the corner, though, from Corey Smith. And then Ibu Adams hit a ball right to left, right across the pitch, looking for Collins. But that was intercepted by Finn Back. But great vision from Corey Smith just there for Derby. 2-0.
Yeah, that little reverse pass, it kind of done us all there, didn't it, Ibu Adams? I think he's took the easy option out there. Drive, he's got the full half to drive, and he's trying to put the big switch of play over to the Sibley there. But yeah, they are in control at the minute, enjoying their football, aren't they, Derby?
Bird tries to win the flick on for Derby, but Carlisle have it back. You're listening to the Derby 2, Carlisle 0 in League One on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty rewards points. 18+ terms and conditions apply. We'll be off to St James's Park in a couple of minutes to get team news from Adam Bridge ahead of our next commentary on Talksport 2. And there's so much live football we're bringing you today across the network. Newcastle United against Sheffield United is our live offering here on Talksport 2 from 3 o'clock. Then we've got Chelsea's women against Barcelona women in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final. Chelsea 1-0 up from the first leg in Barcelona. And then tonight at 8, Hull City against Ipswich Town in the Championship. And don't forget, Chelsea and Villa locking horns on Talksport in the evening kickoff. So you've got a choice of listening later tonight as well across the network of live football from either Premier League or Championship. Mendes-Lang for Derby on halfway, lays it back to Curtis Nelson. Just over the midway point of the second half here at Pride Park. 2-0 to the Rams. Ball played infield by Mendes-Lang, but dispossessed by McGeoch. Tries to set Armstrong away through the middle, but Cashin defends it well, running back into his own penalty area. Slightly shanks the clearance out of play, and that will allow a change to be made by Carlisle United. And Jordan Gibson is going to be brought on for Georgie Kelly for these latter stages, as Carlisle make their first change of the afternoon. Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think Georgie Kelly, a bit quiet in the second half, really impressed with him. His hold-up play is excellent, his movement, wins his aerial duels, but like you say, I think he's just kind of fallen out the game a little bit, so no surprise that a change has been made.
31,027 inside Pride Park, and it's just another reminder of the power of the English football pyramid, that you get that many fans turning up at the third tier match. All right, it's a promotion party, but Derby's attendances across the season have been uniformly excellent. Reading 2, Blackpool 1. Harvey Nibbs puts Reading ahead. They've got nothing to play for, but they're ruining Blackpool's faint chances of getting a playoff berth this afternoon at the Select Car Leasing. To bring you the team news from our 3 o'clock game then, up at St James's Park in the Premier League. Newcastle United against Sheffield United. With the lineups, Adam Bridge.
2 changes for Newcastle United as they look to bounce back from that defeat against Crystal Palace. Kraft and Barnes drop to the bench. Livramento and Hall come in, and a switch to a back 4 for Eddie Howe today. As for Sheffield United, the same 11 that faced Manchester United are in the last chance saloon. We're live from St James's Park at 3 o'clock.
And Simon Grayson will be alongside Adam Bridge for commentary on that game. Ollie Klink, your host, also at St James's. Meanwhile, over on Talksport at the same time, Adrian Durham with Game Day Live, taking you around the grounds with goals as they go in from the Premier League, also the Championship, and the final day of League 2, with issues up for grabs in the playoffs and the relegation zone to be decided. Ball's out of play for a Derby County throw on this near side. So 20 minutes to go on Talksport 2, and Conor Harahan, who would normally be skippering the side if he was out there, he's going to get 20 minutes out there to come on in place of Kane Wilson, who's putting another good performance this afternoon for the Rams. But Harahan, one of the elder statesmen, and there's a few of those at Derby County, gets his opportunity. And also coming on, Callum Elder, former Leicester left-back, played at Hull City as well. He's going to be coming on, and Louis Sibley is being taken off so that he can get onto the pitch. So a double change for Derby County, 2-0 up.
Yeah, experienced heads coming on. You know, I think what I enjoy the moment, Mendes-Lang passing over the captain's armband as well. So no, it's nice to see. You know, I think all played a part, squad game. But like you say, they deserve the success that they're having. There's a real understanding about them, so no surprise that Warner's made those changes.
So Callum Elder and Conor Harahan enter the fray, and the first thing they'll do is get forward for a throw-in that Curtis Nelson's going to launch into the Carlisle box away to our right-hand side. 18 minutes to go. Nelson hurls the ball into play. It's flicked on awkwardly by Cashin and goes behind for a goal kick. Reading 3, Blackpool 1. Femi Aziz with a third for Reading. That's it for Blackpool. Another season in League One beckons for Neil Critchley and co. So let's check in at the LNER Stadium, because Lincoln have still got a chance of breaking that playoff party for Oxford United, but they're still drawing. Last time we heard from Talksport 2's Jeff Peters.
Yes, it's still goalless here against Portsmouth. Lincoln, the better side in this second half. They missed that penalty through Mandroyo. House with a golden opportunity. They're going for it, Lincoln, but they're being held, and they're going to miss out as it stands. Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
They will miss out by 2 points, but if they get the win, their goal difference is better than Oxford, ahead of them in 6th place, so they would make it through to the playoffs on goal difference if they can get a winner. We'll be back with Jeff as and when. Change being made by Carlisle United, and Jack Diamond is coming on for Dylan McGeoch, so Carlisle switched the players who switched before kick-off. Diamond started in the 3-1 defeat at home to Wickham last time out. So a throw to Carlisle United on the far right-hand side of the field. Neal just pirouettes away from James Collins. Clipped downfield by Lavelle, flicked on by Armstrong, but there's Bradley once there again for Derby County to hook it up into the centre circle. McCalmont won it back briefly for Carlisle. Shrewsbury get a goal back against Leyton Orient. Shrewsbury 1, Leyton Orient 3. Daniel Udo. Mendes-Lang giving chase gamely downfield, but he's not going to catch that up.
Yeah, it
goes
good,
ahead of him through to the Carlisle keeper.
Good link up with Max Budd and Mendes-Lang there. I just think Max Budd can drive with it there. He's played it with the outside of his left foot there and too much on it. Harry Lewis came out and comfortable for him to collect, but I just think Max Budd, can you drive, commit your defender, and then you can release Mendes-Lang.
John Mellish down the left-hand side for Carlisle United. Goes on the outside of Bird, gets to the dead ball line, pulls it back. It's not back by Armstrong. Diamond tried to get a shot away, and as it came through to Finn back came Ubu Adams with a no-nonsense challenge to get it clear. Hooked up to halfway, but beyond Collins, and sent back up into the air by Barkley for Carlisle. Good control from Mellish, and shovels the ball in field to Jordan Gibson, who's not long on as a substitute himself. Plays a square ball to his right for Neal. Back in field it goes for McCalmont. Diamond getting towards the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Has got Armour in support on the left wing for Carlisle. Gives it back to him. Mellish goes in field. Again, good build-up play from Carlisle United. Now they need the final ball. Armour tries to deliver it from the left-hand side, but Derby County get the block in. And was that shoving the back on James Collins? No, says the referee. And then a deflection sees Mendes-Lang herring after the ball, but Barkley got back there just in time to guide it back to his goalkeeper. 2-0 Derby.
But you're spot on. You know, I think Carlisle in the defensive midfield third been excellent. As soon as you get into that attacking third, you just want end product. They're getting into wide areas, but they're turning down the opportunity every time just to put the ball in. If it be whip it across or find someone or pick someone out, you just want end product with the amount of time they've had the ball in those areas.
Well, Jordan Gibson, who's just come on as a substitute, is their top scorer in League One this season with 7 goals. Mellish just behind him with 5, so they don't have neither of their top 2 scorers are a recognised centre forward.
Yeah.
Although in fairness to Armstrong and Kelly, the 2 that started today, they only came into the club in January. 2-0 to Derby. Quarter of an hour to go on Talksport 2. Max Bird slides it down the left-hand side of the box, looking for the run of Elder, but it's well intercepted by Finn back, and he will clear downfield. West Ham 2, Liverpool 2. Michael Antonio equalises at the London Stadium live on Talksport. Here's Mellish for Carlisle, down the left wing for Armour. Armour, deep cross. It's overhit for Luke Armstrong. Finn back will try and keep it in play on the far side of the field and does so, but in keeping the ball in play, he's given the ball straight back to Derby, and it's swung downfield by Conor Harahan. Goal at the Western Homes Community Stadium. Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Comeback complete. Peterborough 3, Bolton 2. It's Malik Mothersill with another tap in from close range. Good work down the left-hand side. Bolton are mentally shot to bits here. Peterborough 3, Bolton 2.
And that's a worry if you're Ian Everton, Bolton Wanderers, going into a playoff campaign. If you're feeling a bit low and you're not at your very best at the moment, Bolton's playoff opponents would be Oxford United. But that could all change if Lincoln score in their game at home to Portsmouth. We'll be back with Jeff Peters shortly. But it will be Bolton, Oxford and Peterborough, who, as you just heard from Mark, who are beating Bolton. Peterborough would take on Barnsley as things stand in the semi-finals. 4 very intriguing teams getting through to the playoffs, and 2 with Premier League experience. Here is Jack Diamond for Carlisle, 2-0 down, and he finds Armour on this near side. I think judging by the chant I've just heard, I think the Derby fans have just been made aware of Bolton Wanderers losing now at Peterborough United. There's action happening at the LNER Stadium. Let's get up there now. Jeff Peters.
Still Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0. Big moments at both ends. Jensen with a crucial save to keep out Jack Sparks. And at the other end, Lasse Sorensen, right-hand side, cross shot. Norris had to push behind at his near post for a corner. It's a lively game, but it's still Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 0.
And that scoreline still keeps Lincoln outside of the playoffs, but a goal for Lincoln would put them back above Oxford United and into the final playoff berth. Carlisle United coming forward 2-0 down, 12 minutes to go. Mellish, has he won a corner off Corey Smith? He has, down that left-hand side. Well, they're not giving up, Carlisle United. They're down, they're out, but they're still trying to play some neat football going forward, Chris Iwelumo.
Well, they are. I think they've been excellent on that, giving a real good account of themselves. Just that cutting edge and the attacking third's probably letting them down. But good technical players getting on the ball, being comfortable under a good press and organised Derby side without the ball as well. They've used the ball very, very well.
So Jordan Gibson's going to take the corner for Carlisle at the northwest corner, down to our far left-hand side. Right-footed in-swinger, hit very, very deep. It goes beyond everybody. Can they keep it and play on the far side? McCalmont has won a corner in actual fact off Aaron Cashin. It was hit so deep from Jordan Gibson. Wanted a 7-iron, he went for a 3-wood. So a corner for McCalmont to take from the other side of the field, the northeast corner, right-footed outswinger from the Carlisle number 10. Up goes Armstrong, just goes beyond him and hooked away by Harahan for Derby County. And it'll be a throw-in to the Cumbrians on this near side that Gibson goes to retrieve. Fleetwood 3, Burton 0. So Burton have lost. Tom Lonergan with the third. Cheltenham just need to score at Stevenage and they will be saved. They will stay up. Another goal at the Western Homes Community Stadium at London Road. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, it's an equaliser. Peterborough 3, Bolton 3. It's Cameron Jerome that's got it on as a sub. Cross from the left-hand side. I don't know if it got deflected or didn't see it. It hit him and went into the back of that. He knew nothing about it. Peterborough 3, Bolton 3.
Scored a lot of goals like that in his Birmingham City days, Cameron Jerome. Ball just hitting him and going in. But what a terrific EFL servant he's been, Cameron Jerome. But it's too little too late for Bolton. Carlisle coming forward. Ball headed clear by Derby. Mendes-Lang trying to loft the ball over the head of Harrison Neal. Good strength from Mendes-Lang. Gets up to the halfway line. In step Gibson to win the ball back temporarily for Carlisle United. McCalmont was barged into by Adams. And he shows a bit of dissent, which will mean he'll have a word spoken to him by the referee, Ben Toner, but it will be a free kick to Carlisle United. 10 minutes to go on Talksport 2. 10 minutes until all that joy and all that unconfined joy can be released by Derby County fans, knowing that they're back in England's second tier and they're about to make a second change. Liam Thompson and Tom Barkhausen are going to be introduced in a minute. But here's Harrison Neal with a free kick for Carlisle. Headed clear by Bradley at the edge of the area. Back, gets it under control for Carlisle United and gives it back to Neal. McCalmont touched it in field for Diamond, 30 yards out. Just opened up for him for a moment, but then Bradley came to close him down. Now it's gone to the inside left channel. And Alfie McCalmont, Armour, back in field for Carlisle United. Diamond jinks away from a couple of challenges. Very neatly done from Jack Diamond. Little Cruyff turned to lay it off for Armour's cross into the box, headed up to the edge of the area by Sonny Bradley. Clearance not completed though by Collins, and Gibson has it back. Long ball into the area, but Wildsmith can claim just ahead of his dead ball line. And the danger passes for Derby County. 2-0 they lead, 9 minutes to go on Talksport 2.
Again, Carlisle, excellent play. Jack Diamond, excellent trickery movement, how he manipulates the ball. But what you see from him is, can he get either a shot away or get across? Get at your man. He's dribbled past 2-3 like they weren't there, but then came back and had to do it all over again.
That's Chris Iwelumo alongside me. Ian Danter here at Pride Park. We'll be off to St James's Park at the conclusion of this game. Now here down the left-hand side is Bird, clipping the ball into the box, drops at the edge of the area. Harahan drives it right with a daisy cutter, only went just wide. Goal of the LNER, Jeff Peters.
It's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 1. It could be all up for Lincoln now. Miles Peart-Harris with the goal. Referee played a fantastic advantage, and it was just swept home by Peart-Harris. The Pompey fans are singing. Lincoln fans know they could well be missing out here. Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 1.
Well, that's music to the ears of Oxford fans, I imagine, who are leading at Exeter. Back here at Pride Park, Bit of an emotional farewell here for Max Bird, who's being substituted, heading off to Bristol City at the end of his Derby County contract. But what a way to sign off your Rams career. A quite magnificent opening goal to settle nerves around this stadium, and he is quite rightly getting a standing ovation from those fans who probably wish he was still a Ram next season in the Championship.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he's been an excellent servant. And I just love the referee as well, just allowing it all. Every single player around about the centre circle going over to Max Bird, giving him a cuddle. He's applauding, waving to the fans. And to be fair, Bentona, the referee's just calming the Carlisle players down, just telling them to go on with it. We'll put the time on at the end, but I think that's it. Massive. Look at the respect that he's got from the players, the staff, the fans. He's been a great, great servant, hasn't he?
So he goes off, and so too does Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, and that allows Liam Thompson and Tom Barkhausen to come on. Thompson, another academy graduate. They produce a fair few at Derby County from their academy. And Mendes-Lang has gone off to allow Tom Barkhausen, 30 years young, approaching 450 appearances in senior football, joined from Preston a couple of years ago. And they're on for that double change, and we're into the last 6 minutes. So Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley and Oxford look set to be the 4 sides contesting the playoffs. Cheltenham still getting relegated, but remember, a goal for Cheltenham at Stevenage. It's 1-1 there currently. That would see Cheltenham survive and send Burton Albion down. Burton are being heavily beaten at Fleetwood, but they may still stay up, the Brewers, depending on what happens at the Lamex. But we all know what's happening here at Pride Park. And you've just heard the the announcement from the PA guy saying all fans need to stay in their seats. I wish him luck seeing that come to fruition at the full-time whistle, Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, very much so. I think we had a little discussion before the game about what they say over the Tannoy. I remember it's Cardiff away, second leg of the playoffs, and 1 minute to go, he said no pitch invasion. And we got the equaliser, and then we got the winning goal 1 minute into extra time. So it never played out the way that they wanted it to play it, but they're comfortable here.
Yeah. Ball fired forward by Ibu Adams. So Barnsley will also be celebrating that Portsmouth goal at Lincoln. They're at home to Northampton. Graham Beecroft.
Yes, they've got 5 minutes plus a fairly lengthy period of extra time, I think. But it's Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 0. Cole has gone off. He's the leading goal scorer, and Cosgrove has come on. But right at this moment, they're not doing enough, Northampton Town, to jangle the nerves of these Barnsley players, or indeed the fans either. And it does at the moment look as though it is Barnsley who are going to go through into the playoffs in 5th position. Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 0.
And that because not only Lincoln are losing, but Blackpool as well, who were one of the teams that did have faint hopes of crashing that top 6 party. But Blackpool are losing as well in their game against Reading. And with Lincoln a goal down to Portsmouth, the die is cast to the Imps as well, after that extraordinary run that they went on under Michael Skubala. But maybe that's hope for next season, that they can carry that second half of the season form into the next campaign up there at Sinsel Bank. Here's Gibson for Carlisle United, trailing by 2-0 to a Derby side who are almost there. Adams brought down by Mellish, and Mellish that was a little impetuous, that challenge from John Mellish, but Ibu Adams didn't react. In fact, he just had a huge hug with Corey Smith, who helped him back to his feet. Derby 2, Carlisle 0.
Well, you just look at that, Ibu Adams and Corey Smith, the way that they chased that now, harried and put Carlisle under pressure, up against 3, and they won possession of the ball, well, forced the error anyway to get the throw in, and that's why you seen that reaction from Ibu Adams and Corey Smith there.
3 minutes to go. Derby 2, Carlisle 0. Security staff massing around the perimeter of the pitch. Lots of luck with that. Jack Diamond bringing the ball clear down the left-hand side for Carlisle United to this near touchline. Tries to play the ball through the legs of Ibu Adams, but it's out of play. Any sign of Lincoln City getting themselves level to set up a grandstand finish at the LNER Stadium? Jeff Peters.
No, it's Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 1, and Lincoln getting more and more frustrated here after that goal by Miles Peart-Harris on loan from Brentford. Pompey fans singing, Lincoln fans are quiet. It looks all up for them. 4 minutes remaining, Lincoln 0, Portsmouth 1.
Harahan for Derby County swings the ball into the box, just ahead of Liam Thompson. It was a good headed clearance from Sam Lavelle, in truth, to keep the ball away from Liam Thompson, and Carlisle give the ball away. It's McCalmont presenting it to Adams, but then Mellish steps in and finds Diamond. Diamond into the centre circle, got Ibu Adams at his back, but he swings it out left for McCalmont. Back in field for Mellish. Left-hand corner of the box, McCalmont takes over again. Tries a right-footed shot, deflects off his own man Mellish, and goes behind for a goal kick to Derby County, who are about to bring on Corey Blackett-Taylor for another change here. And James Collins, their top scorer, whose goal this afternoon settled matters effectively to make it 2-0. He's coming off, and it's his turn to take the acclaim from all four sides of Pride Park. Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, he's been excellent, hasn't he? You know, I think the goal return, but for me, everything else, he does everything well as a player. His link-up play, you know, his aerial duels, but like you say, he just finds himself in the right position time and time again in front of goal, and he's clinical. You know, he's composed in the way that he finishes.
So Corey Blackett-Taylor on loan from Charlton Athletic. Hasn't scored since he's become a Ram. 8 goals when he was at Charlton earlier in the season, former Villa youth. He's coming on, and there's a Derby player, I think it's Bradley, who's down injured inside the box, and Chris Iwelumo's doing his finger pointing.
Well, I'm not sure. James Collins is stood his ground, to be fair, so I think he's staying on. I think they're changing it last minute.
They are changing because of Sonny Bradley being injured. I think he might be replaced by Blackett-Taylor, but the Derby coaching staff are all on their feet. They're preparing to celebrate. Wilson and Sibley and Mendes-Lang are all looking up at the board, waiting to see how much added time there will be, and there's already Derby fans massing just by the touchline on the far side, on the east stand side, and it's a pretty thankless task for the stewards to try and keep people at bay. There will be a pitch invasion. They are already massing 3 or 4 deep on the touchline, and it is Sonny Bradley coming off instead of James Collins now. So he's had his round of applause, Collins, and now he's staying on.
Yeah. No, he's been excellent today, hasn't he? You know, I think he's led the line. That link up between with Mendes-Lang's been very, very evident there.
So we're into added time, and I didn't see a board go up for how many minutes of added time there would be here at Pride Park. I think we're just waiting. 4 have been added on. We're into that now already. Nearly a minute of that has elapsed. It's 2-0 to Derby County.
Just a request to please keep off the pitch until the final whistle.
And again, the PA announcer, in vain, I would suggest, tries to persuade Derby County fans not to enter the field of play at the full-time whistle. But I think that's going to fall on deaf ears. And it's a good PA system here at Derby County. It's not like they can't hear him. Ball's out of play. We are going up once again, rings around Pride Park. They're ready to celebrate. Throw into the Rams on the far left-hand side. And Stevenage have taken the lead against Cheltenham. Cheltenham are going down. Nick Freeman on 90 minutes. So even though Burton were heavily losing at Fleetwood, the Brewers will survive in League One for another season. Cheltenham are going back to League Two. They're losing at Stevenage. Ball volleyed downfield by Conor Harahan. There's a smoke bomb on the pitch on the far side, been thrown by the Derby fans, and even more fans are amassing. And the full-time whistle goes! A pitch invasion will signal Derby County's return to the EFL Championship after 2 years away. Joy unconfined inside Pride Park. Massive disappointment a year ago when they dropped out of the playoff pack on the final day of the regular season. But my, how Paul Warne and his players have got things right this season. Max Bird, their departing midfielder, who's heading for pastures new next season at Bristol City, crashed home the first goal early in the piece to settle nerves, and then a second half strike from their top scorer James Collins means it's the championship for Paul Warne and Derby County next season. Carlisle had a little spell not long after Derby went 1-0 in front, but the relegated side from Cumbria didn't offer a great deal in front of goal. Today is all about Derby County going back into the championship after 2 years away and after all the tumultuous events that have happened around ownership and points deductions and transfer embargoes. Today is a good day to be a Derby County fan. At full time, it's finished. Derby County 2, Carlisle United 0. Derby are promoted back to the championship.
Ian Danter, thank you very much. The promotion party can begin for Derby County. As Dance mentioned there, after plenty of turmoil in recent seasons, they will be a championship club once again next season. A brilliant job from Paul Warne and his players, and there will be some party in and around Pride Park this afternoon. You can hear the Derby fans. They are delighted, and so they should be. Goals from Max Bird and James Collins have taken them up. What else, though, has happened today on the final day